Good evening, everyone. It's nearly the election day. Are we all excited? We're counting the minutes. Um. So yeah, literally this time tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Well, it's not 7 o'clock yet, but that'll be when I'm voting, basically. So literally in a few hours' time, pretty much. Um. So it's basically here. Thanks to the God, it's basically here to the election, because to be totally honest, the amount of information and stuff you have to take in, it's insane. So hopefully it'll be done soon with, because it's literally been the last 3 weeks. It's just been constant, just like too much information. Basically, I put on some relaxing music. I know we're a bit early. I know it's at 7 o'clock, but we're here now. I suppose. We just chill for a few minutes, I know. Um, so am I on live chat? I am good. Uh, I can't vote for Jerry the Hutch because I'm not in this area. I'm not in this area. He's in Dublin. I'm all the way up in Cavan. Um, so I won't be. I can't vote for Jerry Hutch because he's not in my constituency. Um, but I presume he probably would do well enough. Hello, Gordon. Good evening. So I presume we do well enough, Jerry Hutch. I don't know. I don't know. We could do well. We probably do well enough. But it's not like I think you're mixing it up. I think you think of a presidential election like it's national. You can vote. Uh, its boundaries, etc., etc. So there's a good view. Not too much to talk about tonight with the debate. Anyway. Oh, I have it up on my channel. Like there's a video on it and everything. That's what I'm saying. There's a video and everything about it. I've talked about it many times. It's up in the community post too, basically, from yesterday even. Um, no, we wouldn't probably, if you and the Island of Man, you probably wouldn't have heard of any of the local candidates here. Oh yeah, it's a happy Thanksgiving, Gordon. I forgot to say that in America, it's Thanksgiving. I don't think you know any of the candidates, Yusuf, anyway. So there'll be none too well known in my area. But it's fair to say they were all considered far right, extremists. Let's put it that way. Uh, Jerry Adams. Jerry Adams is the former. He's not even. He's not even the case. He used to be TD in Loud, but he's retired. Must be 5 years now at this stage. 6 years, 7 years. No, he's not even in politics, but he could run for the presidency. Jerry Adams next year for Sinn Féin. So we'll see what happens there. But no, Jerry Adams is not running, and he wouldn't be withstanding in this constituency even if he was, and I wouldn't vote for him anyway. Because Sinn Féin is basically the Communist Party, basically, to be totally honest. So I wouldn't vote for Sinn Féin even if they paid me. Sinn Féin's long past the days of maybe 30 years ago. 30 years ago, Sinn Féin cared about the country. Now they don't. It's everybody else but the country. But Ireland first. That it's pretty much everything else. Like Sinn Féin means ourselves. Nowadays, Sinn Féin means that's meaningless to Sinn Féin. Everything else but Irish people, basically, is Sinn Féin's motto. Because they don't care. And they don't believe in private property. You can go on. Like Sinn Féin doesn't believe in private property. That's just socialism really at this stage. And not to mention other stuff. There's many other things I have problems with Sinn Féin. So I won't touch them with a 5-foot pole, basically, Sinn Féin. You won't see me giving them a vote. Let's put it that way. I wouldn't vote for them even to pay me to be told because I simply wouldn't vote for them. To be honest. Sinn Féin is not the party they were years ago. Back in the day, if this was 30 years ago, maybe I could have voted Sinn Féin. Not now. Sinn Féin's just a woke. There's no identity in Sinn Féin. It's just all about wokeness, basically. It doesn't. The future of the country, etc., doesn't matter to Sinn Féin. It's just how much wokeness can you endeavour to commit, I suppose, in the nicest possible terms. There was a thing I meant to show, but I don't know what it is now. Yeah, it's 104 years today to the Jamaica ambush. Yes, I seen that on Twitter. So that's when I was in Jamaica. Tom Bowie, etc., etc. But how are you doing, Aaron? Anyway, but yeah. Not much word about it. Like only on social media, there's not much word on the mainstream media. Like I had to listen to like the worst thing about the election is, yeah, like you have to feel sorry for me a bit here. I have to listen to the mainstream media. Like I actually had to come home from work there and listen to Forge Media the last few nights. I've been listening to Forge Media and I listened to a bit of OT there before I went live too, just to hear what they have to say. So you have to feel sorry for me that I actually have to listen to the mainstream media a bit, and it's driving me nuts because unfortunately I have to watch them now for the next few weeks. Hello, Brian. Yeah, thank you. I need to get another one of these. I should have got more than when I got at the time. I should have, but which eardrums? No, it's not that bad. It's a bit too loud to tell you, so that's what turn down. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. I got a custom printed. I have a mask. Like I got a mask with too much, and you probably never see me because there's no point in me wearing it. It's pretty much just the show and tell. I just get it here. Like I got a mask too, but I never wore the mask. It's pretty much just there for the laugh, pretty much. Because at the time it was during COVID and stuff when I got this, and I got this made too. Even though I never wore it, I just kind of have it. You know, it's not. Yeah, it snowed a good bit. It cost some of the gadgets, but not much. Pretty much, only a bit. So, so there we go. So there we go. I have no. I have to get probably other ones made of this hat. I should probably get it done sooner or later. So I should have probably done it at the time, but I only thought about getting one done at the time. So yeah. Are we excited now for tomorrow? I literally this time tomorrow in the morning, basically, not in the evening. In the morning, I'll be voting basically. Just literally after a few minutes after 7, I'll be at the. I literally be waiting outside before 7 o'clock, the polling station, because I have to go to work at 8 o'clock. So I'll be there early to vote and get it done with. So I'd be probably one of the first voters in the county, in Cavan. Hopefully, all going well. Like I did with I was the first voter in this area to vote in the referendum, in the family care referendum. I was the first person in the door, so hopefully this time I'd be the first person in the door again. But obviously with the local election, I wasn't here, so I couldn't have been the first person in the door. But yeah, so I'd probably be the first person here, so that's something to say. Like 30 minutes before closing. Yeah, some people do that, but I'd rather just get it done with. See, I'm at work from 8 o'clock now in the morning to 3 o'clock in the day. So that's a good bit of the day. And then when I come home, I have to watch what's happening, what's going on around the country. So I'd rather get it done. A lot of people wouldn't be bothered, like, especially because I have to get up earlier now to be ready to go, etc., etc. So instead of getting up at 6 or half 6, like I usually do, I have to get up at 5 o'clock. So basically, I'm only going to get a bit of sleep tonight. Not going to get much sleep, because you have to be a bit up a bit earlier. Because pretty much as soon as I'm finished voting, which is I'm going to take me time. I'm not going to rush through it. Like the same with the family care. I took a second to, make sure, because again, you want to make sure you're doing the right way you're voting, etc., etc. So we see. Promise, yeah. But I will be anyway. Hopefully, all going well, as long as nothing happens. So into that. Because again, you couldn't rely. Something would go wrong, and probably they won't be able to vote or something like that at 7 o'clock. Something like that could happen. We'll see what happens. But anyway, I'll be forced there and I wait there and until they let me vote whenever they want to. But it'll be a few minutes. I say it'll be a minute or two after 7. Because that was the 7 in the family game. It wasn't exactly 7 o'clock, but it was a minute or two afterwards I was let in to vote. And I was the only one there at 7 o'clock in the morning. So, where's the gap? So that's going to be fun. Sinn Féin actually put something useful through my door. A slip of ballot paper with names on it. I can use it to choose my yeah. Oh, I seen them were going around with that. They were going around with that kind of thing. I suppose it's handy too to know the order. I've seen the actual ballot. The actual one you're going to get, the 20 candidates in Cavan. I've seen that, but I don't remember who's on the top, but I've seen the template of it, if that makes sense. That's because it's going by names, I think. But I did see the template of it. I can't remember now for the life of me what was on the first, but Yeah, but OT won't be here in this village. OT won't be there. They'll be in the town. They mainly stay in the town. They wouldn't come out here. And it'd be too early for OT, 7 o'clock. They wouldn't be up. Simple as that. They wouldn't be there. But no, the main reason is too because I'm going to walk at 8 o'clock. Uh, and I'll probably do a video just afterwards, after I vote, just to encourage people to go out and vote, etc., etc. And then obviously straight away after that, I'll go off to work, basically. And then I'll be back around 3 o'clock or half three. So even though I have plenty of time, even later on to see later on, but I want to get it done. It's a good acceptance to set to people that it's very important. As I said when I went in with the family and care weapon, it's very important to be forced, especially young people. It's very important to show people because it was well talked about that a young person, particularly a young teenager, was literally the first person in the door at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's a queer thing to say. Not many young people would bother the arse to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning to go and vote. Even especially if they're going to work too, they wouldn't get up early, especially to go and vote, which I intend to do. So non-party, yeah, that's what I would say. I say non-party instead of independent. In some cases, depends. In some cases, say non-party or independent. In some cases, they do say it. But it pretty much means the same thing. Non-party means independent, really, in an Irish term, I suppose. Like non-party really is independent. That you're not a part of a party, you're an independent, pretty much. So it's pretty much the same thing. If you see that, it's the same as independent, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. Like take for Leicester going on here on Cavan, might say non-party, but that just means he's independent. It's no party. If that makes sense. It's the same. It's pretty much the same thing, but phrased different. If that makes sense. Don't be confused about that. But just to say to people, you can ask the people that's there at the polling station if you need any help. They help you out, of course. Gordon, yeah, exactly. I don't know why they do that, but it's something they do. I know this. It depends, I suppose, on the area too. It depends on the local authority. But I have seen it before, like non-party and independent. It depends on, I suppose, whoever's doing up the ballot paper. So, but don't get confused. It's the same. It's the same meaning. It's the same thing. It means non-party independent. Basically, they don't have a party. So, take for example, if I was one in the morning, I could put no non-party. I'm not a part of, say, Fianna Fáil. Thanks to God, I'm not a part of Fianna Fáil. But just taking for example, I'm not associated with any party. So, if that makes any sense. Hello, Speed9. How are you doing? Hope we're well. Hope we're looking forward to the election. It's hard to know at the moment. Like, we'll get into it in a second. Sinn Féin is basically putting out the stand and saying social democrats and people before profit. So that could be who else that we could get along with. So it's hard to know. To be totally honest, it's generally very hard to know how it's going to go at the moment. It's very hard to tell. I have to be honest. If I knew any way it could go really anyway. To be totally honest, like it's very very hard to judge. Even just talking to people today, I know they don't know how to judge it either. It really could go anywhere. It generally could, because there's not just one consensus. Obviously, the one consensus is that everybody knows the country is not the best state. Everybody can agree on that. But it's supposed to consensus who you vote for. That's the next thing. You get what I'm saying. It's hard to know. Even the people in the town, Cavan, don't know what's the story, basically. So we don't know, I suppose. We won't know until the fat lady sings. I'm walking at 8 also. Bus, on the Georges. Yeah. I'm not saying to people go at 7 o'clock literally in the morning. There's plenty of time. It's open to 10 o'clock at night. Like it's open from 7 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. So plenty of time. But it's just because I want to set an example, to people that they have to go. It's important to vote, etc., etc. It's important to show up, and it's important to be there early, and to get your voice heard. Because it was well talked about now, exactly. That I was there first, and it was well talked about because people were expecting me for the local authority and European election, even though a lot of them didn't know at the time I was in Finland at the time. So it was a quite a shock for a lot of people when they found out I wouldn't be going early because I was in Finland. Because nobody knew until the penny dropped that I was over in Finland during the election. So nobody understood that one until that happened. So I could fly off to Finland in the morning again. So I have a big sleep before I go and save the country. Yes, of course. But as I say, it's plenty of time. It's just a preference, particularly for a young person. As I say, it's important to show that this is very important to go down early and to get your vote in early, etc., etc. Please. Yeah, well, the employees were there at the time with the family and care fund. They were there. Like they were still setting up, like they were still putting things out and stuff like that. Like they'll probably come in late enough and stuff. I don't think the boxes, like the ballot papers and the boxes only come in the last minute. So But it was a minute after 7, I remember looking at my phone. So it wasn't exactly 7 o'clock when they opened up, but it was that. But I was standing out there waiting for about 5 minutes before the door opened, etc., etc. But this time I won't go as I'd be still down at 7, but just before 7. Um, but we'll see. Hopefully they open early. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. Because again, the ballot papers might not turn up or something like that. Typical something like that would happen. But anyway, I get voting at some stage. Like I'm not in that big of a hurry. As long as I vote before 8 o'clock, I'm fine. Yeah, that's the thing. If it's bad now, what's going to be like in 10 years' time? That's what we have to think about. Hello, I cannot pronounce that name. But hello, good evening. How are we doing? We have two independents. You're in business. In business there. But don't vote for that Fine Gael fellow in Loud anyway. Whatever you do, don't vote for him anyway. Vote for anybody else. But vote for you have people there to vote for anyway. So hopefully he doesn't get elected. Hopefully no Fine Gaelos get elected. But again, you know yourself, there's going to be somebody elected anyway. But we see what happens. And be very welcome. I hope you're doing well. Hello, Matt. How are we doing? How are we keeping? Make Calvin Cola great again. We need to get Calvin Cola back. Yeah, that's what the candidates should have pledged, that we get Calvin Cola back on the go. Because it would be great if we could, but I don't think that'd ever happen. Unfortunately, it'd be good if we could. People would buy it. Like people would buy it. Like if you have an only original can of Calvin Cola, it's worth thousands a year today. Just to say. But I don't think so. I don't think it ever come back. But you never know. Never say never, I suppose. You never know what could happen. But if you ever come across a Calvin Cola can or a bottle or things like that, it's worth hundreds of thousands a year. So it's very collectible. Just to say that, if you ever see any bottle like that, it's worth a lot of money. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Like I know a few people has a few of them, like original ones, etc., etc., and they must be worth thousands. Like you won't get them nowadays. They're priceless, basically. So just to say that if anybody ever's in a house, your granny's house, etc., etc., they don't know how how much it's worth, etc., etc. It's worth a lot of money. But we do need it back. It'd be nice to see it come back, but I don't think so. I would personally like to see it too, but I don't think so. But that's something the campaigners in Cav need this stuff. Cola. I don't really drink cola because I drink Lucasade, which is kind of like Lucasade, but that's every once, and I don't drink it like every day. So that, I don't know if that has to say. I wouldn't drink like Coke or Fanta or stuff like that. But anyway, we get started into the news. And listen, no budget. No budget. So we get started with a few of these things. So that's what we need to get our candidates and Calvin talking about, getting Calvin Cola back. This might be a bit too loud, the music. So as I just said there just 2 minutes ago, Sinn Féin is putting out the stand, basically. Sinn Féin, the leader, Mary Lou McDonald, the leader of Sinn Féin, has suggested that people vote for the Social Democrats and People Before Profit. Now, notice how it's not the Labour Party, but we already seen it. People Before Profit, Richard Boyd Ballard and Mary Lou McDonald were basically winking at each other in the debate, etc., etc. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. And the Social Democrats. So basically, more or less the left alliance, basically. Like Sinn Féin is not a right-wing party or a right set or a nationalist party, is what we call them too. The far left extremists, basically. As they say, parties of the left, as Mary Lou McDonald said there. So, so it's either Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and the Labour Party go in with them, or it's the Social Democrats, People Before Profit, and Sinn Féin. I don't know which is worse, to be totally honest. I don't know which one's worse. The whole lot of them are not worth a damn, to be totally honest. To be totally honest with you. So this is what Sinn Féin is proposing. That it'd be the Social Democrats, People Before Profit, and probably maybe somebody else, some other party, Labour Party. But this is what Mary Lou McDonald's basically saying at the moment. So just if you're voting for Sinn Féin, this is what you're going to get. Just to say, and again, especially because they're saying if you vote Sinn Féin candidates, say for example in Cavan, you vote for Pauline Tully and Matt Cowley number 1 and number 2, right? And then you give number 3 to the People Before Profit candidate Emma's up in here, Emma Harkin, yes. So that's what basically she's opposing. So basically, they're putting out the stance in the what a left wing socialist government basically. So that's pretty much what they're saying. That's pretty much what they're saying here. Like they're pretty much openly are saying it. That's what they're up to. Which I don't know. I don't know who's worse. I don't know, to be honest. I shut up to think who could go in, to be honest, because I don't think any of them be any good. Let's put it that way. They put it nicely. I don't know. Particularly, again, I went into the details about Sinn Féin earlier on. Not the party for the Irish people, to be honest. Maybe 30 years ago, maybe 40 years ago, but not now. Sinn Féin isn't. Particularly recently, we've seen with the immigration, particularly. They wouldn't stand up for working class communities. They basically called them extremists, far right, etc., etc. And that really put the last nail under the coffin for Sinn Féin. They really have put themselves into a corner, basically, at this stage, in terms of that. And there's no really redeeming them, really, now. There's no really redeeming them after that kind of stuff. And not to mention, then, obviously, other stuff. So we see what happens, I suppose. But I'm just saying that because Mary Lou McDonald's basically putting out the table now. And that's really what has happened here. So I don't know. We see what happens, I suppose. I don't know. It's so hard to know. Like in other parts of the country, it's hard to know itself. In other parts too. But I just don't know. It's very difficult to tell. Like people are very upset. People are very annoyed. But it's just hard to know what they're going to do. Because again, a lot of people say stuff, and then they do the opposite when they go in. If that makes any sense. So I don't know. What does people think? Like, just ask people here, what do you think? Who would be in the government? Which parties are going to be in government? Because I generally don't know, to be honest. I know the Green Party. There's one thing for sure: the Green Party are going to be demolished into the next century, which is not much loss. So the Green Party are going to have one TD maybe at most. And it's not much loss, to be honest. Nobody cry over the Green Party losing all those seats, because they're definitely people are gunning for the Green Party more than anything else. So it's not much loss. The Green Party lose everything. They lose everything and be happy about it. At least have a good laugh for that one. I know. It's a pity that I didn't come across my Green Party representative in Cavan, because I would have driven mad. So it's a pity. But just to say too, just when I go on any photo, like I had literally nobody canvassing around my house just to say, oh, the election. I had the three Fianna Fáil candidates, not themselves, but people who represented them. I had them and I annoyed them a bit. But I had literally no people before profit, no Sinn Féin. Sinn Féin were nowhere to be found coming near my house. Thanks be to God, but I wanted to annoy them a bit. But they didn't come near my house. No Independent Ireland. Into Sarah O'Reilly wasn't around. The Independents weren't around. I don't know why. Like nobody came down near me, basically. Only the Fianna Fáil ones came down. So I don't know why Fianna Fáil decided to come near me for some reason. But none of the TDs themselves came. So it was just the middlemen. So I don't know. Because like I think like even around here, I was talking to a local woman down the road. She only had the same tree again. So the three people I said there, Robbie Gallo has people looking like trying to get people for Robbie Gallo, Niamh Smith's crowd, and then Brendan Smith's too. The three Fianna Fáil candidates. Like no Fine Gael has been in Butler's Bridge. No Fine Gael, no Sinn Féin. Where are they? They're afraid to come near here or something. Like none of them have come here. Not one has come here. Like where are they? Where were they? So I got to ask no questions basically of any of them. Like I haven't come across one TD basically that's won for the election. Like literally haven't come across one of them. Like I haven't come across one of them, even though I have actually tried. Like I wanted them to come down, so I can ask them questions, because it's pointless asking the post and canvas on the behalf of them. Because again, they're not them. They're not the TDs in question. But I did drive a few of them mad for Fianna Fáil. So I don't know. But not even in general, not even just to my house in the village too. People were asking where were the TDs. Where are they? They're coming looking for votes. They're talking about getting votes, etc. And none of them are around. So I don't know what's the story there. I'll have to figure that out. Is it because I'm around or something like that? But I would have asked them very tough questions. like I've asked Niamh Smith's candidates, particularly very like the people that were voting canvassing on Niamh Smith, very, very tough questions about Howard OT that time. So, but Fine Gael know what to be found. Where are Fine Gael? Where's Sinn Féin? Where's people before? Where's the Green Party? Well, the Green Party, understandably, I think they're too afraid in Cavan to go out because they're not getting a good welcome at the door. A lot of people are warning them, to be totally honest. Yeah, it's the one election in 2020. I could say to you, last election in 2020, I could say there was a vote for Sinn. There was a huge vote for Sinn Féin. Like you could see it in the air, but not nowadays. It's compared to in 2020, it's a very lukewarm response to Sinn Féin at the moment. That's what I mean to say. So some people were happy enough for Sinn Féin, which I don't know what's wrong with you, but okay, it's your own opinion at the end of the day. But it's a lukewarm response. You get what I'm saying? It's like in 2020, everybody was hyping for Sinn Féin, jumping up and down, but not so much now. People are not jumping up and down so much for Sinn Féin nowadays. So it's very lukewarm, if that makes sense. In 2020, you could see the Sinn Féin were going to do well, but in this election, it's not there. The energy and stuff is just not there. It's just not there for them. So I don't know. Yeah, like the referendum, but I didn't know at the time before. I voted no and no, obviously, of course, because I didn't agree with any of it. It was all just bullshit, in my opinion, the referendum. But thankfully, the Irish people seen through that bullshit, thankfully. Thanks for the God they did. But at the time, I didn't know before the election, were they going to listen to the media? Because all the political parties, remember, in the Dáil were jumping up and down saying vote yes and yes. And the media were jumping up and down saying yes and yes. And all the NGOs were jumping up and down and saying yes, yes. And basically all the establishment was jumping up and down and saying yes, yes. And, that didn't go too well for them. That's for that way. It didn't go well at all for them. So it's never mentioned nowadays, but it didn't go well. So hopefully something like that happens again, that it'll piss the whole lot of the establishment off, but I don't think so. It might happen to a certain extent, but not as much as in the referendums. Probably, yeah. A good one, Matt. But I haven't seen, generally, I know who the candidate is in this area, but I haven't seen a bit of the Green Party. I haven't seen a bit of them around here. I don't know where they are. Nobody has come across them. I know people. I've been talking to people regularly across the whole County Cavan. Take for example, nobody has seen the Green Party around Cavan. Nobody's come across them. I don't know where they are, but and the same with people for profit. Nobody's found them either. I don't know where. There's a candidate here. I don't know what they're doing or where they are, but I haven't come across them. And I've been out and about, and I haven't come across them. So I don't know. I've come across not the Fianna Fáil candidates, but the people representing them, and that's about it. I've come across nobody else. So I don't know where everybody is, around this part of Cavan, because nobody's been about, so it beats me to be told I haven't seen one of them. Like, imagine this is the one campaign in 2020, at least I've met a few of them at the door, and were able to give out to them a bit. But there's none of the TDs around. There's none of them wanting to run. It's basically just the middlemen. For the Fianna Fáil ones, was the middlemen, basically. It was people that were just canvassing on behalf of them. It wasn't themselves. So that's the thing. I could ask them nothing, basically, because, what can they tell me, really, I suppose, in a way. But I did annoy them a bit about it. So, particularly the fellow for Robbie Gallo, I really pissed him off, I think. He didn't say anything, but he was really pissed off, I think. Because I said he voted for the hate speech bill in Shannon there. And then he was like, no, he didn't. He didn't. He proposed. He didn't want to vote for it. More or less what he said to me. He didn't really want to vote for it, but he did. And he did. It doesn't matter if he didn't want to vote for it. He voted for it anyway. I think that's more or less what he tried to phrase. Oh, he didn't want to. He was forced to get his will to vote for those. So people were trying to say that. But, I didn't listen to his bullshit on that. But anyway. No, but they actually are ringing the door. Like, in fairness to the Fianna Fáil, they did ring the door. It wasn't themselves to say. But at least they rang the door. Like, I hadn't got any left. Only things I've got in the door was from the post that time with the thing. I haven't seen anybody canvassing this. And nobody around here in the village, in my village here. I'm talking to literally people down the street every day. Do you have any canvassers, etc., for the last week? And none of them have said, I've seen no Fine Gael, I've seen no Sinn Féin, I've seen Fianna Fáil. But that's about it. I don't know where everybody else is in this part of Cavan, but nobody's been here. Nobody is nowhere to be seen. None of them will know where to be seen. Maybe they'll come tonight. I don't know if they can come tonight. They might all leave at the last minute, but I haven't come across any of them. So I couldn't get questioning any of them on their policies. That makes sense. That's what's annoying me the most. But I think they're just too afraid to go around in a lot of cases. I think they're just too afraid to get a bad reception at the door. Like, there was one fellow in Cavan that was telling me there was a shinner at his door trying to get him to vote for Matt Carty. Like, this was near Shradone in County Cavan there. just a bit outside Cavan town. And he ran him from the doorstep. He ran him. He absolutely tore into him. So, that's probably the reason why, because he absolutely tore into them. And this is an elderly enough man. He's not that fond of the shinners, So he got ran from the doorstep that fell. So that's probably the reason why, because they're not getting a good response. So that's why they're not going around. Because generally, I haven't seen any. I'm in Cavan Town nearly every week too. Like every day nearly in Cavan Town, or around Cavan Town, or in the area of Cavan Town, it makes any sense. And I haven't seen one of them about either. I haven't seen anybody around Cavan Town canvassing around it. So I don't know. Unless they're all hiding from me, I don't know. Like I haven't come across one. Like I tell a lie, I came across Fianna Fáil, one of them handing out leaflets one day, not themselves, the Fianna Fáil candidate, but somebody on behalf of Fianna Fáil. But that's about it. Came across nobody else. So I don't know where they all are. They must just come out when the cameras are about. It's very weird. Let's put that. Hello, David. How are you doing? Yeah, like there's a huge, like as I say, these big hotels, etc., making them a huge buck on housing refugees, etc., etc. We get into that. Actually, just speaking of that, there's something I want to show you. What's this now? Sorry. Again, apologies if you hear my phone going off now and again. Just people messaging me about different things, telling me different things what's going on. Like they all voted for the hate speech, but all the Fianna Fáil voted for the hate speech. The senators and TDs that are there, they all voted for it. So that's just the thing. So where was that thing you saw? I was going to. Yeah, here we are. Just speaking about intimidation and stuff. So this is a councillor in Laois, an independent councillor. The company which owns the City West Hotel received 34 million euros in the first 6 months. This is only the 6 months of this year. Think about that. The first 6 months, not the whole year. And over 100 million euros over the house asylum seekers. Their bill rate was 740,000 euros in 2014, not 2014, excuse me, sorry. And there was paid by the department, etc., and the taxpayer. Don't ask. So yeah, this is, as you were just saying there, like the people who own City West are making a killing. Like they're making a killing. 34 million euros in the first month, and over 110 million euros. Like that's an insane amount of money. Think about how many bike sheds you could build for that. So there's people getting rich off it. That's what I'm saying. And that's only one. That's only one place. So imagine if you added in all the country. You would have a fair big buck that could be in the billions. We'd be talking nearly 7 billion probably at this stage. Maybe 10 billion. Who knows? Like it'd be definitely in the billions. Like it's insane amount of money. Like it's 5 million or something a day for every hotel in the country, house of refugees, etc. If it's bed and breakfast and stuff. It's about 10 million or 15 million. Like it's insane amount. No, it's tea. Like it's insane amount of money when you really sit down and think about it. Like when you really think about it for a second, it is a lot of money. Like it is generally a lot. Oh yeah, people were asking me yesterday. I can't remember who exactly about bringing your own pen to a voting station. Just to fact check this. Like I've asked somebody in the council too, and they said it was okay. But the electoral registrar done a video on it where people asked them questions. They're just showing this bit here. Like it doesn't have any audio. I can't show you the audio of it, guys. Yeah. So as he says, of course, you can bring your pen and notes. But you can bring your own pen. This is from the election committee, because I know people asked me yesterday. So this is from the body over the election committee, basically in Ireland. So you are allowed to bring your own pen and pencil, just to say whatever you really want. As long as this, I was talking to a fellow in the council today. That's to do with the elections and stuff like that. The only thing he said to me, don't bring a pen, like don't bring something like this, like a marker. Don't bring this kind of thing. Bring a pen. Don't bring a marker. That's really the only thing, because you don't want to be putting a big mark on the page. So don't bring any of this. I think that goes without saying. So don't bring something like that. Makes any sense. Like an only pen or something like this or something like that. Or this. Just not a big markup. Okay, just to clarify with people, because I know people wanted me to ask me that yesterday, and as well they did. Yeah, big huge thing like that would leave a big mark Like something like that is a bit unnecessary. I think that goes without saying. But just to say to people, nothing like that, because I think that'd be counted as spite. He basically said to me, it'd really be unreadable because it's a big tick marker that would nearly go through a page, that kind of stuff. But yeah. Now, where am I now? Sorry. So the European Commission has come out with this. I know this is not relevant to the Irish election moment, but just because it's not, it doesn't sound great. Let's put it this way. So you're key to a digital identity. First of all, straight away, I don't like the sound of this. We're adopting the EU digital wallets, identity wallets, for cross-border identification. Straight away, I'm not that fond of the idea. Basically, this is communism, pretty much, to say to you. Digital ID wallets. I'm not that fond of the idea, to be totally honest with you. And nobody seems to be that fond of it because, you can see that straight away it's not, people are not too hyped about it. But long story short, whatever kind of government that comes in here shouldn't allow this kind of crack to happen. But of course, they will listen to the European Union. They won't question the European Union on it. But it's basically just really pretty much to control you, pretty much. That's what this really is. To find out what you're spending money on, etc., etc. That's pretty much probably what it is. So I won't be doing anything like this, basically. So they basically can go fuck themselves, pretty much in the nicest possible tone. The European Commission can go fuck themselves if they think I'm going to use this. Excuse my vulgar language. I apologise for my insincerity. Pull a deputy stag. But yeah, pretty much they can shove it up the hole, basically, the European Union, in the nicest possible tone. I know that's such a thing to say, but in the nicest possible tone, they can shove it up the hole. The European Commission and Ursula von der Leyen, of course, too. I will participate in that kind of shit. Excuse my language. Hello, Shawnee. How are we doing? Adrian, don't vote for the whole way down the ballot. Yeah, I know that. Like, as I say, don't go everywhere. We have the two of us. Yeah, well, Ursula von der Leyen can put the two of us where the sun doesn't shine. Let's put it that way, in the nicest possible way. With all due respect, Ursula von der Leyen, you can put it somewhere where the sun doesn't shine. But yeah, no, I'm only going to give 6 votes. You don't have to go all the way down the page. Give your first preference votes, etc., etc. But I'm only going to give 6 votes. I know you can go all the way down to 30, but I recommend the people at most 5 or 6. That's what I would say to people. That's good enough. 5 or 6. Don't really go any further than that, in my opinion. But again, it's up to you as the people valuing what you do. Hello, Johnny. How are we doing? But yeah, no, long story short, I will be participating in that European, whatever it's called, digital ID and stuff like that. And I say to people here, don't participate in any way. Whenever they come out and say, oh, European Union citizens need to contribute to this or whatever, Yeah, don't give any preferences. Yeah, obviously that goes without saying. Hello, Sean. But that goes without saying. Don't give any kind of preference, even if it's your literally last preference. Take for example, Cavan. You give the 20th vote. No, and take for example 15th vote to Fianna Fáil. Don't give them anything. Leave it blank. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I have no intention whatsoever of giving the Green Party or Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, or God forbid People for Profit too, or Sinn Féin, God forbid even worse. I have no intention of giving them even a cent of a vote. So basically what I'm trying to say, only vote for the people that you really, really want to vote for. And again, as I say, 5 or 6, that's good enough. Don't go any further than that. 5 or 6 is good enough. I wouldn't go through the whole page, take for example, Finn Cavan. 5 or 6 at most. And if you want to just vote one person, that's okay too. As I say, it's up to the people of Ireland what they do. But I would just say don't go any further than 5 or 6 because you get confused after that. You probably make a mistake after that. So I think that's reasonable enough. 5 or 6 is good enough. Anything after that is a bit overproportionate, I think, in my opinion. Because that's as far as I'm going. I'm only going to 6. And that's as about that. I'm not going any further than that. Because I get confused myself. I would get confused myself. I'd be like, Jesus, what is this? Who am I phone for? Yes, the former Italian Prime Minister, yes. But yeah, don't give them any votes, basically, the Green Party. And I think this goes without saying. I think everybody knows they're not going to give the Green Party or Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael any votes. I think it goes without saying it. But just to say to people, even if you're giving them your number 10 vote, don't give it to them. Don't give them the satisfaction of getting a number 10 vote. I wouldn't do it. Yeah, you're right there, David. A lot of people just vote 1, 2, and 3, and that's really it. A lot of people don't go after the 3. I don't think after the 3 they don't go much after it. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. But I don't think so. It's not probably a US thing more. To be totally honest, I don't know. People here probably would tell you. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it'd be that really prevalent here. Not. I'm not really sure. To be totally honest, to be truthful with you, I'm not too sure. Yeah, it could end up like, even if you give them the TED vote, I still wouldn't give it to them. It wouldn't satisfy them. That's okay with me. But again, it's up to you. Again, I don't want to be telling people what to do, but not a single vote exactly. But again, if you wish to, of course, you're more than welcome to do it. But my advice to you is not to vote them in. Social Democrats, people before profit, Sinn Féin, Fianna Fáil. I think it goes with the Green Party. Don't vote any of them. Don't give them anything. Even if you give them your very last vote, even if you go through the whole page and have one vote left, don't give it to them. Just not single vote, not one. But at the end of the day, it's up to the people of Ireland to decide. But that's just my advice. Just to say, I'm not saying what to do or anything like that, but it's just my advice to you. Take it if you want, take it if you don't want, etc., etc. At the end of the day, as I say, it's up to the people of Ireland, up to the people of Cavan and Monaghan to decide who they want. You can only say so much, I suppose. But I say to people to think about it tonight. If you don't understand, if you don't know who you're voting for, if that makes any sense, have a think about it tonight. Don't just rush in the morning and decide then. Have a think about it. Look back in the last few years. Think about all the stuff that's happened. Think about all that. Have a long, good, hard think about it. That's what I'm saying. And I think that's that's reasonable enough. But again, as I say, I don't want to tell people what to do. I'm only suggesting. That's what democracy is. Again, you make up your own mind. It's not. I have no right to say to somebody you must do this or you must do that. It's a democracy after all. It's whatever you take. But I do suggest have a think about it before voting. Particularly if you're voting Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, and the mainstream political parties. Have a think about what they've voted for the last few years. Have a think about what they've done. Just have a think about it before, and even if you still want to go ahead, but think about what they have done. Look back on what they've done before you do it. Yeah, but the counting vote happened. It's not like in the United States or in England. It happens Saturday morning, so there'll be no votes counted Friday night when the polling station collect. So it'll be Saturday morning. They're starting at 9 o'clock Saturday morning, counting the votes. They don't do it throughout the night. Just to say to you. It's not like in England and the United States. They don't do it here. So basically, the votes are locked away for nighttime. Do not transfer. Good media said. I think I said. I'm not too sure. I've seen the video something about them talking. Ben and Scallon talking. He's saying about voting all the way down the page. Did he say? I wouldn't go all the way down the reason. I don't know. I didn't see the whole video of what Quip Media said. But my recommendation, because people get confused, people will get confused, especially in Cavan and Monaghan, there's 30 people on the ballot. People would get confused and have to give 30 people a vote. It's a lot of people. The ballot is very long. It is really, really long in Cavan. It's the longest it ever was. It wouldn't mind if it was only, say, 10. But there's 20 people literally on the ballot. So there's a whole lot of names and people who get confused. And if I had to do it, I'd get confused myself because there's that much writing and numbers, you get muddled up. So my advice is just I would go as far as 5 or 6 at most. At most, 5 or 6 is good enough, in my opinion. I don't think he did. But I would say I watched your video on voting. Oh yeah, don't vote for Home Galway West. Whatever you do, restrict and freedom for the common good. Yeah, we'll restrict and freedom for the common good. So don't give her. I think it goes. I think she's not going to get in anyway. Like nobody's going to vote the Green Party. Oh, Sarah O'Reilly, you're talking about. Sorry, John, you're talking about Sarah O'Reilly. I thought you were talking about the one in Galway West. Sorry, apologies. Yeah, so Sarah O'Reilly, like I said in the video, part 2. If you watch the bit at the end of the part 2, I talked about Sarah O'Reilly. But she talked about immigration before the West of Ain too, before Paddy Tobin and the rest of them in Ain too. So basically, she's been talking about immigration before any of them in Ain too even came around talking about it. That's what I'm trying to say. So she basically was one of the first in Ain too. Well, was the first, in my opinion, to talk about it. And then Paddy Tobin and the rest of them jumped on the train when Sarah O'Reilly talked, because she's one of the first people that talk about it. Like one of the first people that was raised, and even before this happened with Ukraine, etc., etc., she raised it long time ago. Even back on the Ruski, I'm sure people remember Ruski and stuff like that, and what's common that time. This is back a good while ago. Ruski, it must be 6-7 years ago at this stage, with the direct provision. There used to be direct provision set, etc., etc. Even though the way back then. So basically, she's talked about it for a very long time, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. More than the rest of Ain. So basically, the rest of Ain only catching up to her now, basically. But obviously, she's very vocal about it, etc., etc. Yeah, that's who I thought you were talking about, John. I thought you were talking about Pauline O'Reilly. Like, restrict and freedom for the common good. Like, I mean no offense to Pauline O'Reilly when I say this, but, maybe go back to the 1930s. You might suit you in the 1930s. You can go to the communist Soviet Union back in the 1930s. Time travel back to the 1930s, because that's straight up out of the night. That's literally what Hitler said. Just to say, everybody's going around calling people Nazis, etc., etc. Like literally something that Hitler said. In the Green Party. So I mean no offense when I say that, though, but literally something that he said. And that was said in Shannon there and on the Shannon's record, that was strict and freedom for the common good. But what is the common good? Who is the common good? None of this was ever explained. That's what I'm saying. Who's the local minister here in Cavan? Heather Humphreys, but Heather Humphreys is not seeking re-election to Dáil Éireann. So she's not the local minister at the moment. So there's no local minister here now. What did I miss, Joe? The best out of vote 1, 2. The best ones who vote for. Yeah, don't vote for the worst now, of course. That's what I'm saying. Oh, you're talking about Tracy O'Malley's video. Yeah, I think that's what you're on talking about. Because Tracy O'Malley did a video talking about how they voted, etc., etc. I do recommend people to watch that for the sitting TDs now, not for people that's not elected, etc., etc. Yeah, but Carol Nolan, in fairness, though, she spoke up a lot. Like she spoke about things in the Dáil that what the same with Matty McGrath. Like in fairness to Matty, he mentioned the World Economic Forum. He mentioned Klaus Schwab's in the Dáil. Nobody ever done that in the Dáil. Like none of Fianna Fáil ever mentioned about Klaus Schwab's or the World Economic Forum. Like none of them would dare mention it. Like that's what I'm trying to say. So in fairness to Matty, give him credits for credits due. He said it. He said it straight out. About the stuff about the World Economic Forum. I can't go too much into detail, but he said it straight up, and the same with Carol Nolan many times too. So you have to give them credit where credit's due. That this week, and especially Carol Nolan, she's been very vocal about it, more than a lot of them in the Dáil. I'll be trying to say. He stopped YouTube. I think he got sick. I remember watching these videos about a few months ago. The last video he made, he basically just got sick of it. I think YouTube, and he's basically more or less what he said. He's preaching to the choir, basically the people that already know about Fianna Fáil, Fianna Gael. And I think he just wanted. He was sick of it, I suppose, in a way. But I do miss watching him. I used to watch him a lot. I hope he's doing well now. If you ever see this, but I hope he's doing well. But I think that's what it was. I think that's really what he said. Really, it's a few months ago now, but I do vaguely remember him saying that it was kind of like preachers at the choir, basically, the people that already know about it. You know, I kind of get in the way. You know, I get very annoyed a lot of time talking about different things all the time, like repeating myself over and over again. You know, so but I hope he's doing well now. Whatever he's doing, hope he's doing well. We might see him back hopefully someday. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he's not the Martin McGuire's not the worst. And effectively, again, as I say, he mentioned stuff in the doll that you're looking like a lot of RTDs wouldn't dare mention, even if they got paid to do it, they wouldn't dare mention it. You know. So in fairness to them on that, especially Carl Nolan too, very vocal, one of the most vocal people in the doll about it. So I do recommend people to vote for Matty McGuire or Carl Nolan if you're in that area. Mike Fitzmaurice, yeah. See, Independent Ireland has left a bad taste in my mouth with Kieran Maloney. As I said, that's why I won't vote for Shane P. O'Reilly. Not even that. The reason why I vote for Shane P. O'Reilly too, give him any kind of reference, because he didn't even know his own party's policy. So I don't know what to say about that one, but I won't vote for him that way. But Kieran Maloney left a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm not going to be, take for example, vote for Shane P. O'Reilly and him go into Fianna Fáil because he's a former Fianna Fáil fellow. So he'd be same as Kieran Maloney. He'd probably jump into bed with Fianna Fáil. So he probably will. Like, that's what I'm saying. He'd do the same as probably Kieran Maloney. And I simply could not sit in a polling booth and give him, say, for example, number 2 and number 3, and him do the same thing as Kieran Maloney. Because thanks to the God of wet to Finland at that time with the European elections, I would have voted for Kieran Maloney. And to be totally honest, I would be mighty pissed at the moment if I did. Because I would have been nearly better off going and voting Fianna Fáil during the European elections. Because he went off and joined Fianna Fáil anyway. So, you voted for Independent Ireland, but you got Fianna Fáil instead. That's in my opinion what you got with Kieran Maloney. And that's the majority of people in Cavan too. People that voted for Kieran Maloney, they got Fianna Fáil. They voted for Independent Ireland, but they got Fianna Fáil. So. Yeah, Soviet Union. But yeah, Pauline and I just going back to communism, etc. Like literally something, as I say, Hitler said, and literally something out of the 1930s, restricting freedom for the common good. So I hate to say it to people in Galway West, but I wouldn't vote for her in the nicest possible way. Pretty much, maybe don't vote for her in the nicest possible way. If you wish to vote for, go ahead. But particularly with that statement, I could never see myself voting for something like that, for the common good. But what's the common good? That's the question. Does anybody know? Because nobody, she never clarified who is the common good. What is the common good? Who does it benefit? Just one of those things. It's like what Norma Foley would say too. Yeah, like that's what leave a bad taste in my life. And I'm not saying Michael Collins, the founder of Independent Ireland. I'm not saying he's the worst. He's not the worst. But Kieran Maloney really left a bad taste in my mouth. Like I was willing to give them a chance, and they left a bad taste in my mouth. I have to. I have to put you in timeout now for a second now for that. So I have to kind of police a bit of the channel. We couldn't have that kind of language. See, there has to be a bit of rules, and I don't want people, don't push the rules. I suppose it makes sense. That's like you're entitled to your opinion, etc., but don't be using that kind of language. Yeah, like I wouldn't go any further than 5 or 6. That's my advice. Um, yeah, I just had my first knock on the door. I'm ashamed to say, I would have voted for two persons and two men who were pushed me in for being a mouse. What? Come again? Can't see. It was just a channel that, it has to be some kind of words, I suppose. That's what. Um, Because see, YouTube, what's the police, and there's a bit of offense to what he said. This was in the way. See, I don't want to have people timed out or anything like that. Yeah, what literally has been, I don't know, it must be like that's the first time in a long, long time I had to put. So, like, I didn't ban him, and he's just timed out for the moment. That makes any sense. Like, I don't want to ban people, as this, but he's just timed out for I think 5 minutes. I put, but it was a bit too much what he said. Like the last time I literally timed somebody out, it must be, good God, it must be 3 or 4 years ago. Like, it's a long time since I timed somebody out personally. Oh, so far, if you're going to give him my 14 for Neve Smith, all right. Oh yeah, we're not going to get into what he said, but I think he deleted his comment too before I put him in timeout too. But as I say, the only thing I said this before, it's only about there has to be some kind of basic rules, I suppose. Etc. etc. Like, usually I don't ban people or put people in timeout, but he wasn't banned; he was only timed out. But there has to be some kind of rules, I suppose, some kind of way. Yeah, just it goes without saying. There's ways of saying stuff, but you don't use that kind of language. Like, I'm fair as much as I can, but you can only be so fair. Got Simon Howell's letter, which missed it all, yeah. But as I say, I don't want to say it said something, but just in that the last point in that, like, I don't want to say it said something, but if somebody says something like offensive and stuff like that, we have to do something about it, unfortunately. Well, we'll move on to our stories now. So yeah, just where was this? Yeah, so pretty much the local radio station it's a tight race for the 5 seats, and so it is, because nobody can predict who's going to win the seats in Cavan. I'll be totally honest. So as they say, Heather Humphreys received 12,000 first preference votes in the last election. Obviously, she's not there now. So them votes are really all to play for, really, because Sinn Féin. So what they're suggesting is Sinn Féin to get 3 seats, which I don't think is going to happen. They might get 2, but I don't think they're going to get 3. And then it will be Fianna Fáil would 1. So probably Neve Smith will lose her seat. That's what I think could happen. Neve Smith probably will lose her seat. Brendan Smith will probably be okay. I don't think Robbie Gallo will get in. Fine Gael will get 1. But I don't know. But as it says here, and I said this many times last time, because obviously the personal vote, like the personal vote for Heather Humphreys is not there, as it says, in Cavan, with her own constituency, Cotillo and stuff like that. But with her gone, them votes, where are their votes going to go? Like, that's the question. Where's the votes that Heather Humphrey would get? Where are they going to go? Because that's the question many people are asking at the moment. If that makes any sense. So we don't know where that's going to go. The soul votes, yeah, they do. I wouldn't say it if I didn't think they did. Like, they are good TDs. I think if Shawnee's still here, he emailed Matty McGrath a few months ago, and no, not a few last week or the week before, and he replied back within a few hours or something like that. I remember that. Something like that. Yeah, it's hard to know what's going to happen. It's generally very hard to know. But that's what Northern Sound are protecting. So I do protect the Neve Smith. I do think Fianna Fáil will only have one seat. Like, I do think Fianna Fáil probably will just have Brendan Smith, and Neve Smith will lose her seat. Particularly, I think people are very upset about the OT thing. It's all right. He's old already. Um, but even just to say the Healy ways, I know they're probably going to top the poll in Kerry. There's nobody really else to stop them. Hopefully, Michelle Keaton too. Of she's an independent woman in Kerry. Hopefully, she does well too. But anything to stop Norma Foley at this stage, everything needs to be thrown to stop Norma Foley from getting in, because Norma Foley shouldn't get in. Really, the majority of ministers that are there at the moment shouldn't get in. But particularly Norma Foley, we have to do it for the children. We have to make sure Norma Foley doesn't get in to stop what she's doing in the schools. Like we have to make sure Norma Foley doesn't get in. Yeah, because I hate to say it, but Norma Foley looks likely maybe to get in. So I don't know really what to tell you about that one, but if she gets into something very wrong with the country, as he gets my number one vote, yeah. He's made a good. He's a singer. If the politics doesn't work out, he can become a singer, a country and western singer. No, he made a good video. Like at least he's putting some. He's putting a bit of a banter, I suppose. The West candidates in Cavan, as far as I know, they haven't put any songs out, etc., etc. So at least in fairness, it's a bit of a tune from the election too, and you need that. You need a bit of a tune in the background to get the hype going. If that makes any sense. Michael Smart, but again, independent Ireland, as I said to you before, became Maloney. It's left a very bad taste in my mouth. That's the only thing. It's left a very, very bad taste. And I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it, but it did leave a very bad taste in my mouth. Yeah. But anything to stop Norma Foley, I would say to anybody in Kerry, anything to stop Norma Foley, literally vote for the man on the moon if you need to get Norma Foley out. I would plead with people to vote for the man on the moon to get Norma Foley out. Anybody but Norma Foley, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. In Kerry, anybody but Norma Foley, please. Well, it's good to see. It's a good. Like I would be voting number one now, but I give him number two. But it's good. It's good to see that. Like I've encouraged a few people that I know to vote for him, etc., etc. Michelle Keaton, yeah, I would probably vote Michelle Keaton number one, and probably the Healy ways the two of them probably gives them number two and number three. That's what I would do if I was in Kerry. I don't know if there might be some other people. I don't know if any of the other people were in Kerry. Because mainly I would do anything to stop Norma Foley from getting it, basically. That's pretty much the main goal of me now at the moment. Because Norma Foley, she's just a disaster. Or even half. But let me see, where's my phone? But yeah, so we all have an idea, so nobody's undecided basically on who they're going to vote for. Oh, nobody has any questions to do with voting or anything like that, like how to vote, etc., etc. Because I know some of it. I don't know it all now, to be totally honest with you. But I can answer some of them if you're a bit confused. So you need a bit of guidance. I don't mind helping you out, like in telling you how you. It's pretty simple enough. If you have your polling card, then you're fine. You just basically hand it in, and that's pretty it. You get it stamped. It has to be stamped now at the top. Like it has to be punched, I suppose. It's pretty much like a staple. They have to punch it at the top. Not a staple, but like a punch, I suppose we call it. So if you do have that too, just make sure you get that before you vote. Because if that's not on, it's not valid to vote, just to say. Because there was an issue with that one year in Cavan, that somebody voted and it was found out that they didn't stamp the thing. And there was a big, huge hullabaloo about it. Yeah, no budget. Brendan Smith. Yeah, like I do think Brendan Smith's safe enough. Like he's safe enough. He's there a long time in Fianna Fáil. He's there a long time here in Cavan. I do think he's safe enough. Let me do that. Like Matt Carty and I think Pauline Tully are probably safe enough too. Um, but Steve Smith's seat's not safe at the moment. It could go either way. But I don't know. And again, Heather Humphrey's seat too. Who knows where that's going to go? Because I think Brendan Smith's going to get in, and Matt Carty and Pauline Tully. But there's still two seats. That's only three candidates. So two seats to the play for. Basically, that makes any sense. But I think Sinn Féin's vote's going to be limited. I think they're going to lose a lot of support, but they'll probably just get in no more. It's kind of hard to know. I don't know. But I do think Neil Smith's probably going to lose just because of the OT tobacco. Because on the whole couch, you've probably seen yourself, Daisy. It says accountability. Accountability for what? OT got off scot-free. It'd be different if some of them went to prison, etc., etc. Nothing was ever done about it. But yeah. So just going back to Cavan and Monaghan for a second. So there's 109,000 people registered in Cavan and Monaghan, which is a lot of people, I suppose, in a way. So a total of 60,000 people eligible to vote in Cavan. And obviously Monaghan's a smaller population, 49,000 people. So obviously the majority of people are on Cavan. So the main vote is in Cavan for people. It breaks down, the majority of people are women, etc., and men. 10 candidates are based in Cavan, 9 in Monaghan. So it's pretty much equal. 10 are based in Cavan, 9 are based in Monaghan. So it's pretty much equal, to be totally honest, in the way they're from, really. So it goes through all the candidates. Just to say, this is from the Anglo side. If anybody's from Cavan, they want to go through it. Where is this man? Yeah. Just what the brief is. So I touched about him. I'm going to give him my 6th vote. Particularly because, again, as I said in the video, there's something that and a lot of people do like him for this. And I have a lot of respect for the man for doing this. Where is it? Sorry, the Defence Forces. In terms of yourself, I've been literally like a broken record talking about it. Where was it? Sorry, like he suggested that he give up half his wage for mental health. Am I missing that here? I could be doting. Sorry. No, it is. Sorry, I'm actually am. No, I'm not doting. It was somebody, but yeah, long story. I think he suggested he would donate half of his salary. I don't think the Anglo South covered it, but he said he'd donate half of his salary to mental health charities. And obviously because he's a member of the Defence, used to be a member of the Defence Forces too. So just to say to people in Cavan, I know we might have known as the other candidates, if you wish to give him a reference. But yeah, a lot of people too. Is that a Greek? No, he's not from Greece or anything. Hello, David. Yeah, can you vote without a polling card? Yes. You can vote as long as you're on the register of electorate. You know the way you signed up through your local authority to vote. As long as you're on the register, if you're on the live register, you can vote. But if you're not on the register, say you didn't register to vote, you're a new time voter, you can't vote. But as long as you have ID, so you need to bring your photo ID, like a passport, driver's license, and stuff like that. It should be on they have a sheet. The register of the people, like the people who are in the register, like the election booth, will have a list basically. Let me see. So say this is the list here. So there's a list the county council send out to all of them. And it says, say for example, my name is here, John O'Reilly or something like that. Name's here. So basically, everybody that votes in Cavan Mullen, their names will be on the top for each polling station for what polling station. So they cross it out basically. So your name will be on, even though you don't get a polling card, you can still go down and vote, as long as your name's on the register. If that makes any sense. So as long as it's there, as long as you checked, the register, etc., and it's there, you should be able to vote. But the majority of people did get like I got mine, and a lot of people I know got theirs. So I don't know if that's any good. You can vote. Yeah, you can vote without a polling card. Yes, you can. As long as you have photo ID and you're registered, to vote. That's the thing. You can vote without one. But you need to have ID now to prove that you are the person. Like take for example, I didn't get just to say. Take for example, I didn't have my polling card, right? What's to say if I lived in the big town and I wasn't the person? I said I'm John O'Reilly or something like that, and my name is Adrian Take for example. So what's to say? I'm not. I'm trying to. That thing. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately so, Sean. But it might be a change in the wind. You never know. Uh, like especially in this election, it could go either way. It generally could. It's not like in 2020. I'm sure you remember 2020. Everybody was jumping up and down about Sinn Féin, and in this election, there's not much jumping up and down about voting for parties. Yeah, the majority of young people. I can't remember I seen the poll, but there was for 18 to 34. It's a huge amount of young people, and particularly 18 to 34, that bracket, that are voting for Sinn Féin more than any of the other parties. But Sinn Féin's promising the moon out on stars, basically. Uh, but I hope I answered your question, David, if you're still here. Courteous in the door. Well, you won't get courteous with Healy Race. Like Danny Healy Race should have an interpreter because I can't make out a head nor tail. So going into a crime, I suppose, not to do with the election. Just want to briefly hear. So this is the person that was putting up fake ads, basically, in terms of saying he had a room to rent, like he had a room in an apartment to rent. So this fellow had 70 previous convictions. Like imagine you're only 30, like he's only 30, this fellow, and he has 70 convictions. Like good God, he's only 30 years old and he has 70 convictions. Like that's insane. So as it says here, security deposit, he took money off people, saying that he had a room and he didn't have a room. And as you see here, he took a good few bob off people. But what I say to people just straight away through revenue, like don't, particularly if you're going to an apartment stuff, give it to them in person. If you see the apartment in person instead of paying it over the phone or online, it's a very bad idea to do it. But unfortunately, he's going to prison for 4 months, I think. Yeah, he's unlikely to be able to pay it, but he's going to prison for 4 months for each of the offences, and obviously legal aid was granted. But I don't think so. Obviously, this person was in debt. It says he was in gambling debt. But long story short, this can happen. Just to be aware of it, just to say, particularly young people, they might be thinking they're getting a good deal, etc., etc. It's too good to be true. He made off for €3,000, and there's little chance of getting the money back. Like he should be going for longer than 4 months, but 4 months of this, at least I suppose he's going for some time. But yeah, just to be aware of this can happen. Just to say, that's the reason why I'm bringing it up. Just to say to people, it can happen. Just to be aware, and particularly young people, just to be aware of it. Stereotypes. So I hope I answered your question, David. But that's to my knowledge. As long as you're on the register, the register when you sign up, you put your take for example your PPS number and etc. etc. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. As long as you did that and you done it recently enough, you should be okay. There shouldn't be any issue because it should be there. Like again, they have a page there. They just need to look it up. There shouldn't be an issue. Because again, not all the polling cards be gone out. It depends on the local authority. Like Cavan County Council very quick send them out. They were on the ball in getting it sorted this year. It depends because it's through the local authority with it. That's set that through. Yeah, a lot of people. Carol Nolan too. Back in the day was in Sinn Féin. I take too. Am I right in saying that Carol Nolan was in Sinn Féin at one stage? I remember seeing on the front pages of Sinn Féin back in the day when Jerry Adams was the leader of Sinn Féin. Like everybody at one stage was full. Like I'm sure you know yourself, Aaron, on it. But I think you said at one stage you were. Like back when we were younger, we all thought Sinn Féin was the greatest, and then we kind of took a step back and we looked at Sinn Féin more closely. Like everybody was there at one stage. Like every person in the country was there at one stage. I even admit back in the day I was myself back in that situation. But I stood back and I had a long look around at what was happening, and then you kind of realize what's going on. And you shouldn't be really ashamed to say it. A lot of people did were led down the garden path, and then realize what was happening. But see, a lot of them were just too afraid in Sinn Féin to speak up about it, speak out about anything. They're just too afraid. They have to stop being afraid. Yeah, hindsight is a powerful thing, exactly. Hindsight is a powerful thing. But we live and we learn, that's the thing. We live and we learn. As long as you learn from your mistakes and you can grow from it, that's the best thing. You can learn from it, etc. Be better for the next time. You know for again, basically. Hindsight. Oi! I dropped my pen. I thought it was gone. I threw it in the bin. Sorry for that. I thought it was gone. It was Jovo. So let's look at a journalist, a so-called journalist. Let's look at the so-called journalist. Such a thing to say. So this is a journalist for the Irish Times. The Irish Times. So me whole mountain is looking for his chocolate. So if these journalists, like all three, are doing the same quack, that the green tea is it? Always look. Is this chocolate he's looking for green tea? But to be totally honest, they would drink green tea because they're that. I don't know what you would call them, but yeah. Long story short, this is a journalist. Like this is a journalist that's supposed to be asking very hard questions about what Micheál Martin's going to do if he gets elected to government. I don't remember, this being journalist's work, to photograph the Taoiseach going and getting chocolate bars. I thought journalists asked questions, and hold politicians to account. If this is holding politicians to account, I don't know what to tell you. But maybe I'm just wrong. We need to. We're already great. We don't need to be any greater. We're already great. I should say we're already great. We don't need to make it any greater. We just need to tighten up the edges. If you make that say. But it'd be interesting to see, that Kerr Walker. I can't think of her name at the top of my head. But it'd be interesting to see how much she's fucked over, Fine Gael. Because that really fucked over Simon Harris. Like, Simon Harris might lose his seat. Hopefully he does. Because he's not well liked in his own constituency. So hopefully he loses his own seat. And, that'd be priceless if he does. That's a good question. Like, I don't know where you would start, but it's a very good question. It's a very, very good question. Like, I don't know really where you would start. Like, it's a good question. I can think of many things. Like, first of all, to be totally honest with you, we need to get rid of these NGOs. That should be one of the things. We need to start cutting the NGOs. Like, we need to go like the True Finns in Finland. We need to get the sitters and start cutting the NGOs down the side. So that'd probably be one of the first things I would do. We completely get rid of the NGOs. Or we get rid of 99% of them. We get rid of them, throw them away. We're not throw them away, but we cut them to nothing. We basically be like the True Finns. We just cut them. We keep cutting sitters. So that'll be one of the first things I probably would do because they're a huge waste of money. Billions of euros have been spent on them. They serve no purpose, basically. That's one of the things because I think that's a huge money waste, basically. To be totally honest, I can think of many other stuff. Like I can think of many things. To be honest, it's hard to say. I'm thinking so much really about the different things you could do, but it's hard to say. There's so much more. I would want to do more than three things, but there's that much. Like I generally could go on for an hour. but particularly to do with defence forces too. I suppose starting with the defence force, there's many other things. You can think about some things to do with the European Union, etc., etc. But with the defence force, take for example, give them proper wages, conditions, etc., etc. Get the numbers of the army up, etc., etc. Things like that. There's many more things to do. Straight away too, the World Economic Forum. We're not having anything to do with them. We're just going to ignore the World Economic Forum. We're going to do nothing with them. So yeah, that'd be pretty much the three major things probably I would do straight away as soon as I got in the door. But there'd be a lot more I want to do as soon as I got in the door too. Like I can think of 50 other things I could say. To be totally honest off the top of my head. But they'd be the three main things. I think if we got rid of the NGOs and got rid of the World Economic Forum and had nothing to do with them, we'd be doing well, and then obviously sorting out the defence forces. Not to mention other stuff too. Like there's a whole other list of stuff with hospitals, homelessness, etc., etc. Like even just mention homelessness there. Take for example, we try out what the Finnish government have done. Well, not the true Finns, obviously, but the previous Finnish governments in terms of house enforced, etc., etc. Not the Irish, like the Fianna Fáil's version of it, but the house enforced initiative in Finland that has worked. I think if we tried something like that, it would work here. But I do think it would work if we had good management and we had somebody that actually cared. Things like that. There's many other things that can go into it. Like take for example the prison system too. A lot of people that's in prison, take for example the moment for small petty crimes, shouldn't be there. They should be reformed. They should be set to reformed. An education is supposed thing, so they can get, say for example, they rob a few things in the shop, right? To go to prison. But when they're in prison, they get a qualification, and they come out a better person with a qualification to get a job. So they won't have to steal anymore. If that makes any sense. Many other things like that. Like I can think of many things. Like it'd be so hard to, if I just got it. Like say if I got in the morning and I can only do three things. I don't know where you would start, to be totally honest. Because there's three. As you're saying it to me now, the reason why I'm mulling myself because there's about 30 things I can think off the top of my head I would want to do straight away. It'd just be far too much, basically. Need to say, and they only have three. Anyway, sorry, I went on probably a bit too much right there. I won't vote for Simon Howes, but don't vote for Simon Howes anyway. Get my vote, or just I'm not running. So, hello, Jared. How are you doing? The woman rewind the countryside. Like, there's many things I could say about the countryside too, in terms of doing things with the countryside, etc. But anyway, on the letter, but no, there's that much. Like just even asking that question, there's that much I could think about that we could do. It's just it'd be too much to say. But they'd be probably the few things at the top of my head now. The first few things that came to my head. They could go write a book on it, basically, if I went on with it. And like in terms of education and stuff like that, the possibilities are endless. Everybody agrees. And so say all of us. What is this now, sir? Oh yeah, we talked about that, sir. How threats for water? What do properly understand? Well, pretty much. I'm not going to say I'm the biggest person. Like I know everything about elections, etc., etc. Now, pretty much to my understanding, when you get eliminated, take for example, you don't get the quota, and you don't get the. So, say for example, in Cavan, the quota is 10,000. You need about 10,000 votes to get into the Dáil in Cavan. So what that means is you have to get 10,000 or be transferred 10,000. So say for example, people for profit, take for example. Say for example, the people for profit candidate here in Cavan. Say she gets 200 votes, first preference votes. And she doesn't have enough. Obviously, she doesn't have enough to get the 10,000. So she gets eliminated. And then 200 votes gets basically split between all the candidates. So each candidate gets one. And then it obviously keeps going and going and going until somebody meets the quota and gets elected. Pretty much, I think that's what the way it means. That's what transform. In my opinion, I think that's what it is. And I think that's what it is. I'm not, now, don't quote me 100%, Brian, but I think that's what it is. I studied it back a while ago. But I do think it's when people get knocked out of it pretty much. The votes are transferred to each candidate, etc. And then obviously if people meet the quota and they extend the quota, the votes get split, basically, two different candidates. It is a complicated system. It's not like first come first serve. It's when you meet the quota, I suppose. It's a lot of technical stuff, I suppose. But I don't know if that made any sense whatsoever, Brian. But hopefully that was a bit. But I haven't seen any video really explaining it. So I don't know. But that's my understanding of it when I learned about it in SPHE in Tokyo. I could be wrong on that, so don't take me up on it. But I think that's what happens, really. And I know people in the council that could tell you about it, that are over the elections, etc., in Cavan. But I don't think you're talking to them at the moment, because they'd be that busy, they've been top of the head. With them, oh no, we're playing Assassin's Creed or something. Are you phone yet? No, it's 7 o'clock tomorrow in that water. I can't phone. It's a bit. I look funny going waiting outside the local polling station here, and it's not until 7 o'clock in the morning. I look funny doing that. Hello, oh no. But just talking about everybody was talking about Council Sarah Wiley earlier on. I just want to briefly touch this. So this is to do with the GA. You probably have seen it in the video I talked about. Now, where to start, I suppose, here. So the GA, we all know the GA during COVID didn't want people to buy tickets at the turnstiles in Breffney Park. So take, for example, that's a turnstile that used to be able to go in and pay cash to get in. Now you can a bit, to a certain extent. To a certain extent, there's not, like, say, for example, there used to be 20 booths. Like, this is not 24, booth 24. Years ago, these all booths would have been open, you would have to pay cash. Nowadays, there's only about two turnstiles open to pay cash. So long story short, this happened during COVID, etc., etc. I've talked about it hundreds of times in Cavan. The county board here really were digging into the ground, basically, in determined to do this. But as I say, only for Council Sarah White, they wouldn't have done it at all. Because the GEA just were refusing. Like, Council Sarah Wiley sent letters when the monthly meeting at Cavan County Council happened many times. She sent letters to the county board, which is over the GEA in Cavan. And they said to her, and they basically said, and this is from the council themselves, from the local authority themselves to the GEA, that they didn't want any more fucking letters, basically. And they would throw them in the bin and they wouldn't read them. And they would basically offer ignorant, basically, the GEA with it. And only for Council Sarah Wiley keep raising it. That was the only thing that really stopped the county board from doing it here. Because the rest of the councillors nowhere to be found. The councillors all the rest of them went into a mouse hole. But she raises a good point here, particularly down here. The GEA is a faster community organisation. They're taxpayer funded. Like, the majority of GEA money comes from sports capital grants. So, pretty much they should be, not being cashless, pretty much, in other words. So that's that. But yeah, that's why I'd be voting Sarah Wiley. This is one of the reasons why, because she stood firm on the GEA when a lot of people stood against her back then, because she stood up and she wouldn't keep quiet about it, about the cashless thing in the GEA. She wouldn't keep quiet. She kept raising and kept talking about it. And again, it's hard to stand up from a crowd, especially because there's 16 councillors in Cavan County Council. And she was the only one out of the 16 that stood up and said something about it and stood firm and didn't back down. So the rest of them all didn't say anything. They were too afraid to say anything. But in fairness, though, only for her standing firm, and that's how this came to be. Basically, the cash was allowed now in the county board. Like, you were allowed to use cash. So, that's one of the reasons why too. But I know that's why one of the reasons why. Like, I talk about in the video. Like, if people are wondering, I have talked about in part 2, like, a huge amount in part 2. Will you wear the hat to vote? No, I probably won't, because there's a thing in. It's the same in America. I'll tell you about this, Brian. I don't know if you know about this. I don't know to enforce it, but there is a law in this country, I think, in the back in the back thing, like not really a law, but it's in the terms of the election stuff like that. You can't go in. Say for example, have a Fianna Fáil like badge. Say for example, God forbid, Santa was Fianna Fáil. I don't think you can go in with a badge like a Fianna Fáil to go and vote. I don't think you can. I don't think you can do that, like with a Fianna Fáil hat, take for example, or into that. You can't go and do that. I don't think you can. I don't think you can do it here. I think it's against the law here. We're not against the law, but I don't think you're allowed to do it. I think they'll just say they probably take it off. But I don't think you're allowed to do it here. I think it's the same here. Don't quote me 100%, but I think that's it here because you never see anybody, like you go into your local polling station now tomorrow and see anybody going with a badge for Fianna Fáil into, people before profit. Nobody would go in. I never seen it all the time I was in polling stations, even when I was younger with my mother and father. Nobody would ever be wearing a Fianna Fáil badge, take for example, or wearing anything, like any political thing, basically. Because I don't think you're allowed to. I never seen anybody doing it, so I don't think you're allowed to in this state. I know it's in America, but I don't think you're allowed to. I'm not too sure. I have to clarify that. I never actually thought of it until up to now, until you asked me about it. But I don't think it goes. It's in America, and I think it's in England too. So I don't think you're allowed to go into the polling station itself. Like, say for example, this was God forbid, Santa was Fianna Fáil. God forbid. Go in and with a Fianna Fáil thing and say, I don't think they would let you. Maybe they would. I don't know. But I don't think they would. But I don't think so because technically you're kind of representing the party voting. You're not really supposed to do that. Because years ago, back in the day, as many people pointed out, Fianna Fáil, I even remember, no, we're not the 2000s, but I remember Fianna Fáil collecting outside a mass for money and stuff like that. I remember them doing that when I was younger. They shouldn't have been doing it, but obviously they were doing it anyway. But long story short, back in the day, back in the 70s, and so they were collecting money outside. Not collecting money. They were outside the polling stations, basically absconding people going in to vote, etc., etc. That was happening back in the day. Yeah, number 40 badge. I do have one there. I don't know where it is. I can look for it now in a second. Count as MAGA, yeah, but obviously Donald Trump's not one in here. But it probably would. It'd probably still be a political kind of thing, like a political statement. That's what I'm thinking. Like anything that's a political statement. Like you should probably just go in on the plain top, like nothing political. That's what I'm saying. I don't think you're allowed to. I know in the US, I don't know. Does anybody know about that particularly? I don't know. I don't think you can. I kind of can see why, because technically you would be representing the party for going in to vote and stuff like that. And you're supposed to really, it's a private thing. It's not really supposed to be an open thing. I don't know, because I never seen it myself. Like, come to think of it, I never seen anybody like going to vote. Like, even at 7 o'clock tomorrow, there won't be really many people about. But take for example, you go to your local polling, but look and see if you see anybody with an Aintu badge or Fianna Fáil badge or Fianna Fáil badge voting. Because I don't think you're allowed to. Hello, Bruce. If you would like Trump, I think he was the best choice in the election, of course. And I do think he's not the worst. He's not the worst person. As long as he sticks to his promises, that's the main thing. But I do think he done a good job in the first term. I do think he done a very good job compared to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, etc., etc. But this is from an Irish perspective, I suppose. Yeah, but I think there's a law like in America too with that. But I think there's a law like that here too. I'm not too sure, Brian. So don't go in with a Fianna Fáil top. I know you won't, but take for example, don't go in with a Fianna Fáil top now tomorrow into the election booth or a Fal Mountain top or into that. Like you probably shouldn't go in with that in case they might arrest you. I don't think you could probably be arrested for it. I'd say they'll just tell you to take it off. I presume that's what to do. This is stuck to me now. Like I had this on yesterday and today. True. Stuck to me too. Yeah. Where's that number for you? I don't even know where it is. Foul Mountain. I don't think that probably is an issue. Maybe you could, I don't know. But if you're standing like at the gate, I remember back at just when I was talking about Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael used to abscond people in the 70s and 80s outside the polling stations to try and nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But But I don't know about that now. It's hard to know particularly because I never really heard of any instance. But definitely, I say going in with a hat or something like that, probably with a political party on it, probably would cause you trouble. Basically, I don't know. It's a question I never thought of. I actually never thought of until somebody brought it, you brought it up tonight. But I don't think you're allowed. Like even with this, I presume you probably wouldn't even be allowed, even though Senate has nothing to do with the Irish election. I still don't think they would let you. Where is this yoke? Where did that go? You have to go looking for this thing now. Digging up the whole place. Give me a second now. I found it. It's the most smallest pin imaginable. But it'd be a class thing to do, Brian. Blast Val Martin's tunes. Hello, Senator. I don't know how to pronounce it. You think the National Party will get in? Patrick. Yeah, I said this the other day. Yeah, I think Patrick Quinn has a good chance. Somebody is sitting council. See, the battle is at the moment with independent people and stuff like that is because they're not well known. They don't get media coverage, like mainstream media coverage. And the war they're doing it themselves. They're not a part of the big major parties. Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael. I'm sure you know this. But I do see Patrick Quinn, and you met Patrick Quinn. I do think he has a good chance because he's already sitting council, so he's already known in the area. He has a good chance, particularly when you have a seat already in a county council. You have a good chance of getting in. You have that vote already. You have a certain amount of votes already, kind of guaranteed that you get. So I do think he has a very good chance, Patrick Quinn, and I do think he did well enough in the European elections. I'm not too sure. I do think he did well enough, Derek Bly, but I think Patrick Quinn will get in. I haven't seen much about Derek Bly on the how much like exactly, but I know Patrick Quinlan's doing very well, and from word on the ground in his area, I know a lot of people are talking about him in his area, etc., about the election, etc. So I do think he get in, and I do think Gavin Pepper will probably get into. Who else? I don't see. There's that many people won, and it's hard to remember. There was somebody else I said. I can't remember now what it was. I'm completely done. Yeah, Mark and Stevenson too will get in. Yes, of course. I'm done. But yes, I do think. I don't know. It's kind of. I don't know whether he probably do. He will do well. I do think he do well, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. We see what happens. I suppose. We see what happens. I say he get a good enough over, but I don't think he'll make it. He probably do good enough, if that makes sense. But I don't think he'll get there, if that makes sense. He could. I could be wrong, but I don't know. But he's in a tough enough area, especially with Pascal Donoghue and Mary Lou McDonald. And I think Gavin. No, I'm confusing myself. See, there's that many constituencies and stuff. It's hard to remember. But I don't know. We see what happens. I can't really guarantee that he won't get in or he won't get in. He won't do it now. It's hard to know. Well, it does look that way at the moment. The polls are suggesting, but again, the polls know yourself. You've seen in the US election recently. They said Kamala Harris and Donald Trump were literally neck and neck. There was nothing to stop. Basically, they were literally 1% in the difference, 2.0% in the difference. So we see what happens. We have to wait and see. But I do think it probably will maybe be Fianna Fáil. It's hard to know at the moment. It generally is. But Micheál Martin didn't do well in his own constituency. I mean, imagine if he lost his seat to be a charm. But, he didn't do well. He got in the fifth count last time. It's not very good for a former Taoiseach in the Taoiseach, to get in the fifth count. You should be getting in number one. Let's put it that way. If you're a former Taoiseach or Taoiseach. Oh, yeah, you asked me that yesterday. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. No, 100%. I can guarantee that he's not on the register in Lockwood. I can guarantee 100% he's not there. I've looked into it. It doesn't seem to be there. And he can't run now because you can't put your name down now. It was last week. Last week was the last time you could put your your name down. So I don't think so. As far as I know, even unless it's somewhere, and I don't know, unless it's some other constituency. But I've looked into it and I don't see it. So, to be totally honest. So I don't think he did. But I might be wrong. I looked at only Lockwood at his area, but I didn't look at the Western constituency. He could be standing somewhere else, but I don't see it. And I presume somebody would have said something somewhere. but there's been no word. And I've looked into it. I've looked into it for you. I meant to say it to you earlier on. But I looked into it. Don't see his name on it. It's not on the log for the register vote. Need Roger Gum and Helen McAtee out? Yes, of course, we do need them. Along with Norma Foley. We need to get rid of Norma Foley too. And Stephen Donnelly will be out. People forget about Stephen Donnelly. We need to get rid of him too. We need to get rid of Simon House. We need to get rid of them all. But if we can get rid of at least two of them, we can at least say we're happy enough with it for the moment. Yeah, haven't watched Father Ted yet. Excuse me, come again? Jesus Christ, not watch Father Ted. You have to watch Father Ted. It's a good old fun. No, it's a good series now. It's a funny series. But I do think Helen McAtee's in trouble, and I tell you why. Bob, I think that's how you know bubbled. She's in trouble. She's in trouble in Ho area in Westmead. In Mead. Let me tell you why. And I know somebody up in that whole area. She's in trouble. The reason why in Ho area in Mead it has the lowest number. Imagine the Minister for Justice in Ho area, in whole constituency, has the lowest amount of guards in the country. In the Minister for Justice constituency, has the lowest amount of guards in the country. Think about that for a second. And Ho being the Minister for Justice in her own constituency has the lowest amount of guards in the country. Just let that set in for a second. Because literally people are waiting 3 hours in around Ho area for the Gardaí to turn up if something happened. So, that's not a good sign for a minister, especially in your own constituency. Law and order's breaking down, in a row, and Home Minister for Justice, in Mead it's breaking down because there's not enough guards in Mead. And that's going to cost though. That's like I've heard already many people saying it. That's going to bite her in the arse. It's up in fierce. And not even to mention the hate speech, etc. But that's one thing that's going to bite her in the arse up there. So we should see. But I don't know. Roger Gorman, the Green Party. I don't know. I don't think they're going to do well in general. So, Helen McAtee could lose her seat. It's very likely. It is very likely Helen McAtee could lose her seat. So who knows? I could be wrong. Don't say that it's final, but from what I'm hearing, it seems to be. Could be right. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on it. Because again, it can go anyway. Maybe the polls could say one thing, then the next thing could be not. It just really it all depends. Right? It really all depends what happens tomorrow. Because we basically look at all the polls from every part of the country, and still wouldn't really make any difference. Yeah, like in whole area is the lowest number of guards in the country. But anyway, you asked me the normal 40 pin. Like, look at the size of this. Like this joker that I know made it. I made this too. Like, look at this. Like, look at the state of this. Like, look how small it is, dude. Like, I generally, it's like it's so small. Like, look at that compared to this one. Yeah, like it's just like look at like compared to that. Like, you look at this. Oh, I can't even see. Like, look at that. Like, it's barely covering Santa's face. Is that small? Like this is like this is cost, just to say. Like that's cost. Look into our eyes. Just to say to people in Kerry, we should do that to them. Like, look at that. That's what we should do. In Kerry, anybody that's voting for normal voting in Kerry, just go to the house and put this in there. No, we're not do that. But it's the most small. Like, literally, look how small this is compared to this. Yeah, like look how small. But no, it is like this was only for a joke. Somebody did it. He made the picture and stuff like that too, and the thing. But obviously, this one here is more important than this one. But obviously, I can't wear this one, unfortunately, because I'd be representing Fianna Fáil. We don't want to do that. We don't want to be canvassing for Fianna Fáil now, do we? We couldn't have that. Oh, it's gone. It's Jovo. The West has fallen. It fell down my desk. I see. Oh, I had to go and do some digging. Digging by Seamus. I say a prayer when I'm done, though. Oh, what's happened here? Oh, it's finished. It's Jovo. Did you know the episode of The Simpsons where they travel to UK? Series one. Tony Blair appears in the episode. Well, there's that many episodes of The Simpsons. I don't know which one you're referencing. There's just that many. There's hundreds. Which one are you referencing? Was it what season as well? Did you mention the season? It was series 14, episode 5. I joked recording that to be told honest. Because there's that many episodes of The Simpsons, it's hard to remember. To be totally honest with you. Let me just look that up actually. Because I did watch a good bit of The Simpsons back in the day. But I don't know. Simpsons, what is it? What did you say? 14. 14 pages. 14. Season 4, what is it? Episode 5. Just so I look, because I know if I've seen it. Episode 5. Simpsons Season 4, Episode 5. Tony Blair. Give me a moment. I'm just double checking this. Then right. Oh, you're right. Oh, yeah. This is an episode based in the UK. There was an episode based in Ireland. I can't remember where it was, but the family agree. Yeah. I can't say I did see it back in the day, but I do remember watching an Irish episode. It was a St. Patrick's Day one. Yeah, you're right in that. You're not wrong in that, Gordon. That's true. Do I follow? I think I follow Keith Woods on Twitter. Yeah, I think I do. I do. I don't follow him all the time. Like I don't watch everything. Basically, that makes sense. Like it's difficult to watch everything. If that makes any sense with everything. So there's a problem in Dublin at the moment. There's a doubt. So there's something wrong with all doubts in Dublin and. What is this? Wait a second. Hello, Leta. How are you doing? It's good to see you. In competition, yeah. I'm in competition with everybody. See, everybody be live now with the election. Like everybody's going to be live. Everybody is going to be like literally everybody. So, so I'm in competition with everybody. We're going to, we're going to be fighting everybody. But yeah, we'll be live for the next day. It's difficult. I know myself. It's difficult to watch everybody. Like I know myself. I try and watch people. it's a nightmare to try and be everywhere at once. Give me a second, as I'm just hearing some news at the moment. My God, sorry, give me a second. Denmark. Was there not a problem in Denmark too? Give me a moment. Yeah, so something's happening. Something weird's happening. Something is weird going on in Europe at the moment. So it must be some kind of cyber thing or something. Because it's funny how it's happening the same day. Just bear with me a second. I'll show you. So this is just after coming from Radio Television Sharon. The data community service was soon subject to delays following significant fault. So this is just a while ago. Aaron, etc., etc. So I don't know. So I don't know what was the track line for, but we see at the moment Denmark. There's a mobile shortage failure, halting trams and emergency services. Like the whole phone network in Denmark went down. So I don't know if this is a cyber attack or some kind of a coordinated strike, or some kind of thing. So I don't know. It's funny how this is happening now, because this was a few hours ago. I remember hearing about it, and now this is happening in Dublin. I don't know if that's the same thing. Maybe I'm a conspiracy theory. Get my tinfoil hat on, but it's funny how the two things are happening. Yeah, but I could be wrong. I don't know. It doesn't say what kind of a fault. But it's funny because it did halt all trains and trams and stuff like that in Copenhagen, etc., etc. So I don't know. Something could be up. Hello, Taiwan. How are you doing? I don't know what to say here. It's a lot of talking, pretty much. There's a lot more could be said. Like it's just everything and anything, pretty much. Uh, pretty much. But no, something's because that's obviously suspicious. I'm sure you would agree. It's something happening with the trams in Dublin, etc., etc. And then all of a sudden, something's happening in Copenhagen. So it seems like to me it's like it's some kind of cyber or some kind of thing. It could be wrong, but it does seem to be that way. We'll probably be live until 9 anyway, so another while yet. Um, and the Hacker King, yes, the Hacker King. Um, well, it's a good thing everybody agrees. To be totally honest, I was kind of afraid to say that I was voting for Sarah Wiley #1, and I tell you why, because a lot of people at the moment are not that fond of Aontú. And obviously, I'm not that fond of some of the politics of Aontú. I don't agree with, but Sarah Wiley is a good candidate, and I wouldn't be voting for if I didn't think so. And again, I have loads of reasons why it's in my video I put up. But it's good to see that other people are saying the same thing. Like Thomas Pryor, Planet of the Gale, is saying the same thing too. That he'd be voting for Sarah Wiley. And I think King Scott said Snow was after endorsing Sarah Wiley too to vote for Fall Mountain #1, Sarah Wiley, and Shane P. O'Reilly. So at least I'm not the only one saying it. But I was a bit worried, like I was a bit nervous in saying it, I suppose, if that makes any sense. To be totally honest with people. Because as I said before, and I said in the video too, I don't agree with everything, and like I'm not an Aontú fanboy. But I will agree Sarah Wiley's done great work and should be a TD. She's one of the best councils Cavan has ever had, and that's been true for people. That's the truth, and a lot of people agree with that statement. Like it is the truth. It's not a lie. So say it as it is, I suppose. Yes, go on, Gordon. I presume I know the usual crack. Very good. What was I saying? Didn't I, Jim? You we were talking about a few weeks ago. It was last week, Aaron, only. Do you remember we were saying about Georgia? And we were saying about Georgia becoming in the European Union. We were saying about, I don't know when it was, but Georgia is joining the European Union, but they're leaving it for a good while. I don't know, but I remember some people saying they didn't. Or I can't remember how it was talked about, or what we were talking about. But they are suspended. Like they are probably going to join the European Union, but it's going to be another while yet, pretty much. I can't remember who brought up the cops. I think you brought it up, but I can't remember what exactly we were saying. We're talking about Albania too. Just when I seen that, I just seen that there a second ago. So. Now, not the state of Georgia in the United States, just to say. I know people are probably confused. Why is Georgia the state in the United States joining the European Union? I know some people got confused about that, some Americans. So you're having a jig. So yeah, anything else anybody want to bring up or anything about the election, or any questions, I suppose, or anything you want to make me aware of, etc. So like we will be here tomorrow night. Don't know what time now. We'll probably be live maybe a good bit. We probably will be live a good bit. Now we might do 2 streams. We'll see how we get on. We see because we won't know much. We only know how many people turned out. But I do think it'd be probably I think it's going to be the highest. Pause for that. I do think it's going to be one of the highest turnouts in a long, long time in general election terms. Like it's going to be in the 50%, 60%. Like a lot of people were to the vote in the last few months. So it's going to be 50 to 60% of the electorate will be turning out. I think it's going to be one of the highest in the history of the state, what I'm trying to say. So I'm just saying it now, it's going to be very high. Like the European and local elections weren't that high. But it's going to be Oh, did he? But he did. I didn't see that one now, but he probably. Oh, I did actually. I actually seen it on the recommended. Yeah, you're right in that. I didn't watch it, but I remember seeing it. Yeah, but to my knowledge, what I said about earlier on, I don't know if you were here at the time. That's what I take it like the way it works. But still, it doesn't matter. As long as you give Fowler Mountain a very high preference. That's what I say to people in Cavan Mountain. Give them a high preference. Give them your number 1. Give them your number 2. Give them your number 3. Give them a high preference. Preferably in them 3 numbers, as I say. Because again, as I say, I'm voting Councillor Sarah Wiley number 1, Fowler Mountain number 2, and Nesta Gunn number 3. And I would recommend people in Cavan to do that too, because they're the most likely to get in, to be totally honest. And again, we should be thinking about who's likely to get in, basically. If that makes any sense. Like, I looked at it in many different ways, basically. Basically, I studied nearly all this. It'll be the first country to have a. Oh, I don't know about that. I couldn't tell you that going now. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Oh, cracking my knees. Getting old. Yeah, well, hopefully so. Again, it's a good chat. As I say, Sarah Wiley, Val Martin, and Lester Gordon have good chats of getting in. Sorry, there's a thing in my mouth. Yeah. I'm going to be nosy. So, yeah. It's anything else now, I'm just looking. I'm looking at loads of stuff here that I could talk about, but I don't want to overload people with stuff. If that makes any sense. Interact with God. Like I had often many, like lots of conversations with politicians, etc. But I'm not that kind of person. Like when I was over in Finland too, I could have recorded many people to talk to. But I never was that type of person. I'd rather just talk to the person, not video, unless it was interviewing them. It makes any sense. Like confront them on the street and stuff. That I'd rather talk to them, face to face with no camera, etc., etc. That's just my personal thing, but it could probably do it if it was that annoying, basically. If it was a certain issue that was that annoyed about. Um, if that makes any sense. Give me 2 moments. Um, yeah. Gone quiet. Everybody's gone quiet. See, excuse me, sorry. Everybody's got sick and tired of me. A bicycle shed. Being bribed. I don't know. Just nudge, wink, wink. Give them an own nudge, and a wink, wink, and that'll get you on your way. You could be like me too, taking money from the Finns. Just nudge, wink, wink, as I say. Especially the Finns, they're more generous than the Russians, etc., in terms of payments. It's a lot of burned envelopes. It's a lot of money you get to, to represent the social democratic party, of course. But wink, wink, and nudge, nudge, of course. And then obviously you get working for the intelligence office, etc., etc. It's a great life. It's the life of Wiley. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Push them somewhere else. Do you not think we tried that one? It didn't work, unfortunately. And also, nobody else would take them. We can send them over to the True Finns and see how they want them. So, the True Finns. Speaking of True Finns, where am I now? Sorry, I'm doting. Yeah, that's what some Iranian posts said one time. But it does work. But in my opinion, it does work. We've seen in the referendum, it does work. It does work if you get people fired up enough to want the change. It does work in that regard. But it's the best system. Like, we have to be honest. We've seen communism, we've seen fascism across the world. It's brought nothing but pain and suffering to people. And even though democracy is flawed, it's not perfect. It's not the most perfect system in the world. It's not. Everything doesn't work out in some cases in democracy, but it's the best system. It is general, and the people who founded this state, the people that started the first Dáil, even though it was illegal under the British times, they wanted democracy. They wanted Irish people to have a say who represents them in the Dáil. And I suppose it's in their name too that we keep it going, basically, democracy, because they didn't. They could have declared, Michael Collins could have declared himself king of Ireland. and abolish no Dáil, no government. He's just the man over the whole country. Even though that would have been awesome, but you get what I'm saying. They wanted the parliament. They wanted people to have a vote to say, and that's what happened in 1918. So it's in their name too. We keep it going, the democracy, because that's what they wanted for us. For the Irish people to decide for themselves who they elect to Dáil Éireann to represent the Irish people, the Irish nation. And it's important to keep that going, because they fought hard for that. And I think it's worth fighting for. It is generally worth fighting for, and it's worth keeping. Because it's their work that was put into starting it. But that's just in my opinion. I know a lot of people may be different on that. Yeah, well, of course they did for them. But you get what I'm saying. There's no other system really in the world that works. Like democracy is the best choice for anything, really, in a way. Because every other system is, evil. The communism, fascism, just causes pain and suffering at an unimaginable scale. And nobody's ever held to account because it's one vice, a dictator. And that's not what we want here. And as I say, it goes against the whole foundation of our state too. It was elected Dáil, etc., etc. Now, it's not perfect, I say, democracy, but again, no society is perfect. There's not one country in the world that's not perfect. Just go into the true Finns in Finland for a second. So the 527 days, actually, excuse me, 28 days now. Also, the only 2 days in, and the debt has gone up. The debt has basically increased by 30 billion. Also, if you think it's bad here at the moment, you should go to Finland at the moment. So there was a survey conducted, and out of 10,000 people, and it's not looking very good. Pretty much the survey, nearly 98% of the people who responded, all faith is lost in the government in Finland at the moment. Everything's gone. Like it's just gone. It's over. It's done. They're going to be demolished in the next election. Basically, what I'm trying to say, because people are 98% of people said they just want rid of them. So it's not looking good for the Finnish government at the moment because it's just jovial. Like it is generally jovial. Like it's never been so jovial because there's never been a government in the history of Finland. 107 years have been independent. That was so unpopular. It's incredible, especially only 500 and it's increased by 30 billion. And the main thing about this government, the Finnish government at the moment, the one thing they always said, we need to cut back on the debt, etc., etc. Well, the debt has gone up by 7-fold. And also when you dress up like this, it doesn't quite help the situation because people are making references to the Gestapo. So add 2 and 2 together, you don't get a good answer, basically. So yeah, go to Finland. Pass the challenge. Oh no, don't do that. Yeah, but that's literally what he's wearing, Nick. At the window. Oh yeah. Well, that's literally you see that's the Prime Minister of Finland, what he was wearing a few weeks ago. So that's Finland at the moment. For you. They added the 30 billion in debt. Like less than 500 days, they got 30, and basically the whole Finnish economy is in the toilet. So they probably should have kept this woman about. Do you not think they probably should have kept her about it because things were going better when she was about? And as soon as this government came in, the probably shouldn't. He doesn't look okay. Yeah, you should look at look at the finance minister. Do you want to look at the minister of sitters? Like I don't think you've seen the minister of sitters. Like if you think he's bad, he's the prime minister. You should see the one that's really in charge, the minister of sitters. Like you don't want to go near her. Like they literally are the lunatic. They're the most lunatic people you could find. Because what would I tell you? I don't think you understand how bad they fucked up the whole Finnish economy. They've literally fucked it in 500 and something days. They're barely a year and something in, and they've literally fucked it all together. Like, what would I say to you if I said to you that South Sudan, a country in Africa, is actually doing better than Finland at the moment in terms of economics and growth, etc., etc. What would you say to me? Because at the moment, Finland's the 10th worst economy in the world because of these clowns that are in at the moment in Finland. Um, so what would you say? Would you think I was lying to? Because it's actually true. The IMF have said it. That's South Sudan, yeah, and a country in Africa is doing better than the European country in the Nordic countries. One of the richest countries in the world, because that's how bad they fucked it up in 500 something days. And it's the truth. Look at the IMF; they've said it. Because there's 500,000 people. Finland has 500 something million people in it. 500,000 people are out of work. You know, there's 8,000 businesses this year alone in Finland after closing. So many people have lost their jobs. You know, what I'm trying to say, it's never been as bad, basically. So you can see why people are not very happy. Like like I don't know what the game is or what they're trying to do because things have got worse. Like as I say, in 500 and something days, the debt has increased by 20 billion euro. In Finland. So I don't get what they were trying to accomplish, but I show you the Minister of Cities now because that's literally what she called herself, and she calls she's the Minister of Finance, and she calls the Ministry of Finance the Minister of Cities. Like she calls it the Ministry of Cities. Like the woman goes around talking about cities all the time. Like if you think the Irish government are bad, but where is this thing on? I was thinking it's fallen. Well, pretty much has fallen. Like you've seen it there. Like it's pretty much jovial. It's never been so jovial. I try and get it for you now, but the long story short, this this woman is he's not the prime minister. She's the prime minister because she's calling all the shots. Like it is bad as you can get. Let's put it that way. Like South Sudan, it's bad when South Sudan is doing better than you. I hate to say it, but the West has fallen if that's the case. Because that's how bad they've literally fucked it. Like they literally have fucked it. I can't emphasize. I wouldn't be bringing it up if they haven't fucked it that bad, but they literally have fucked it something fierce. Let me tell you, I'm just trying to find a good picture of it. And like they literally have done it. Like they literally fucked it in 500 days. Again, they should have kept this woman. Like that was the prime minister before. None of this was an issue. But they wanted to get this woman in and all that. And again, this woman doesn't believe that anybody should have empathy for anybody. And also, I don't know, did you see this before? But the woman literally, and you think this is a joke, but this is actually real. Like, this is actually a serious thing. Wait until you see this. Wait until you see this. And this is the Minister of Finance, at the moment. Like, she actually made a chopping board because her main thing is about sitters. She loves sitters. She calls herself the Ministry of Sitters. She actually made a chopping board and sold it to us, like put it out on display for people to buy. Like this is actually a weird thing. This is not a meme. This is literally from herself because she wants to cut everything. Like this is literally the Deputy Prime Minister of Finland, the Minister over Finance, literally having a chopping board. And this is what's the carry on that's happening at the moment in Finland. This tells you everything. The thing is some big game, really, really much, because this is actually a weird thing. You think I'm joking? It actually is a real thing. She actually, done it herself and took pictures with it, and etc. etc. Like she actually did it. Like this is not a joke. Just to say to you, it's not a joke. Like it's generally being very serious here. Like the woman is delusional. The woman should probably be arrested too, because it's a mess. So it's fair to say she will be getting my vote. Where in the name of God? There's a good picture of where. Yeah, like it's pretty bad. Like they fucked it up in 500 something. Like it's bad. Like it's pretty bad. Like it's generally very bad, especially when you see the poll. Like as I say, 107 years of independence. The first time in the history of Finland that the government is literally the most untrustworthy government ever. So it's just bad. Like it is pretty. Like it is bad. Like they've literally talked to. But see, this woman's obsessed with cutting stuff. Like this woman literally goes around with sitters, and is known as the Minister of Sitters. So you can kind of put two and two together. Because it's not going well. Where was this? I'm just trying to find. There's a better picture. It really tells you everything you need to know about the true Finns. Like they literally are something wrong with them. They'd be totally answered. Like it is pretty. Like it's never been this bad, basically in Finland. And this is more advanced country than you here. I'm just trying to find it. Like I don't have it on my computer. I'm trying to find it. But pretty much, she's not the well liked at all. But long story short, the kid should have kept this woman because literally they've wound the country into the ground uh, in less than 500 something days. Um, yeah, I would know. Like, I don't know what's wrong. Like, they're the most untrusted government in Finnish history. Because again, trust is a big thing in Finland. I was there. It's a big thing. Like, the children, like the parents leave their children on the like not on the street, but in prams. Take for example, they leave them outside the cafe shops and shops, and basically the children are there when they come back because it's a thing in Finland. They leave the children outside to it's the way basically help them uh, acclimatize to the air, etc., etc., and to do with the winter, etc. It's a tradition in Finland. But long story short, the child's safe. Nobody touches it. That wasn't dumping your child to be gone. The pram will be gone. You will be gone too. But yeah, um, but basically, long story, there's a lot of trust in society in Finland, and this is the first time a government that's been absolutely hated uh, in the history of Finland, because people are just sick of them. Um, um, like there's a lot more I could say, and I could write the book on it. Basically, I'm just trying to find a good picture of the thing to show you. Like another thing I just want to show you just before I just the way they tell you too what kind of people these are too. Like this is a true Finns minister. So this is obviously Sanna Marin, the former Prime Minister of Finland, the Social Democrats. This is the True Finns minister. He's a minister in the True Finns. So he went over to Israel with the Israeli army and took photos, smiling and laughing, um, basically with Israeli troops and stuff like that. So basically, he's having a good laugh at people being blown up to pieces. Basically, so this is a great thing uh, in his mind. So basically, he went off to Israel and took photos with the Israeli army and them killing innocent children, etc., etc. So this went down very well. But you can see he doesn't give a shit that the Israel's bombing innocent children. And this is obviously Sanna Marin. This is not is night and day. But this is Sanna Marin in Ukraine. Uh, you can kind of see she's very upset. Compared to this fellow, like he seems to be loving it. Uh, this tells you all you need to know. And this is literally him going to his way and having a good laugh about people being blown up. It's tells you all you need to know. Um, but that's just the true Finns. They don't seem to have any care of anybody. Um, I don't. I think they hate themselves to be told answer. But that just tells you all you too because it's not looking well for them doing things like that. Just trying to find a good photo of it. But that's what he did. That's the truth. But no, I can't tell you. Like you look into it yourself because it's pretty fucked up, especially for such an advanced country like Finland, the Nordic countries. Like we think we're advanced here. The Nordic countries are years ahead of us here and stuff and stuff. And it's the mess. I can't find a good picture of it, but um, but long story short, not the best. It's on my community post if you want to see it. Um, but basically, they're holding sitters and all smiling and laughing, basically. Like, no, they are very weird. Like, everything they're doing is very weird. The truth is, because they don't seem to. I don't know what they're trying to do. All the things they do, and it doesn't make any sense. Is what I'm trying to say. Like they've literally cut things like so much, it's insane. Like if you go through my videos and stuff, it's insane. Um, generally, I could write the book on it because I was there. I know people in the Social Democrats. I know you probably say straight away, things like that. But they're generally lunatics. The truth is at the moment. Just the last thing, I suppose, is just the other day. But I don't know why anybody would do that. Stop going to Finland. Yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, what happens if Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael turn into the true Finns? That's even worse again. They do this. So yeah, this is a member of the European Parliament. Uh, so basically, what they're trying to do at the moment, the truth is, they're trying to cut more money for cultural events and stuff like that because the sitters must stop basically because it's time to cut. Pretty much, that's the phrase. The truth is, it's time to cut everything. So pretty much, just cut everything. Fuck everybody. We're going to cut everybody into abysmal. So pretty much that's what is happening here. So they're suggesting cutting more funding for cultural museums, etc., because they hate Finnish history. They hate having to do with Finland. So that's what they're doing here. So the sitters must stop. I agree with this. The sitters must stop. We must stop the cutting. There's no more cutting. Anyway, I move on from Helsinki and Finland. Obviously, that's my money for the day. So I have 50,000 euro in the bank for doing that. Thank you. Yeah, so yeah, but no, like Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael are bad, but literally, like the True Finns and stuff like that, I literally cut everything to like Finland had no homelessness when Sanna Marin was nearly in government. Now homelessness, and this was literally the first country in the world was about to annihilate homelessness. Homelessness is going up now in Finland for the first time, literally since the 80s. Think about that. The 80s, you have to go back to the 80s for it to go up. And that's the first time. It sounds unusual here because it's always going up here. But it's literally the 1980s, the last time the homeless figures went up in Finland and starting to go up. So when you see that, something's pretty fucked up somewhere. I don't know why. I don't think she was arrested, but there was other people there that got arrested for, and they were charged and stuff. I don't think she got charged. I think she just got detained and was let away. But then people that sprayed the Parliament House that time, they're pretty fucked. They're totally fucked in every conceivable way. They're still in prison, just to say. They're still in prison, the people that sprayed the Parliament House that time. They're not getting out. Simple as that. They're not getting out because it's hundreds of thousands of euro worth of damage to cause. Still to this day, the Parliament House, if I'm there in Finland again at the Parliament House, I show you the red marks are still on the bottom of the Parliament peels. It's still there, it's still in the velvet in the stone. So everyone in Finland's very annoyed about that. But no, I just wanted to bring that up too, because and I suppose the reason why I started talking about Finland too is just case in point, as the man said there. Don't vote for Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and stuff because they're going to be the same. It's going to be the same as the True Finns eventually. They're going to fuck everybody. Well, they are fucking everybody over, but But anyway, lads and lasses, I think we're going to be leaving the there for tonight. How does that sound? So I'm going to leave that. Take this off for the moment because I'll probably be taking this short off in this. We'll be back tomorrow. There's a lot to say tomorrow. A whole lot to say tomorrow now. But so bear with me tomorrow. We'll be live probably for a good while tomorrow now, like 2 separate live streams. We'll see how it goes, just to touch on different things. No, it won't be until after 3 o'clock or so because I'll be at work. I probably do maybe put up a video that morning. Who are you voting for? You didn't see me. You didn't see. Well, basically, I'm giving Sarah Wiley my first vote. I'm giving Val Martin number 2 and Lester Gordon number 3. I've done a video on it. It's up on the community post too. But that's weird. We won't know all the results. We will know if somebody got, say, an insane amount of votes. Take for example, Pauline Tully, take for example, Sinn Féin. She gets 24,000 votes, just for argument's sake, not saying she will. But just say she got 24,000 votes. The quota was 10,000 in Cavan and Monaghan. So take, for example, 10,000, 24,000. So straight away she's going to get elected on the first count. In you go. Because there's nothing really to stop her with 24,000 votes. Take, for example. So that's the quota in Cavan. In different counties is different. It goes by population, how many people is registered, etc., etc. But it's 10,000 in Cavan. That's the quota. You need that. So we see. We probably know some of the results that we know roughly what's happening. If that makes any sense. We won't know it all, but we know roughly. Still, it'll be going into Monday or Tuesday next week. Anyways, the last votes. You know yourself. It's all by hand here, so it's going to take a while. But we will be touching on it every day. But anyway, for the moment, I'll leave you to it. Enjoy the rest of your night. I talk to you tomorrow. I probably put up a video after I've voted in the morning at 7 or so, just a bit after that, probably, just to say I voted, etc., and encourage people to go out and vote. So that'll be up 7:30 or so, I say. We see how we get on. I'll show you a funny thing actually too before tomorrow too when I'm just there. So that's it. So yeah, thank you everyone. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I chat this tomorrow. It's going to be a long few days, so bear with me for the next few days. And thank you. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you, and make sure to vote tomorrow. Thank you.